episode of Redacted brought to you by Antlion Audio and their Mod Mic 5, delivering flexibility and performance all in one. Add an Antlion Audio mic to your existing headset to make it into a gaming headset. And let me unmute these guys. Welcome.
There we go. I hear you.
Yes.
I heard you on the stream, but not in the chat.
Yeah, I do the little Antlion spiel in the beginning.
Whoa. Why can't we talk over that?
Because I don't want you to. That's why. That's why. Twerk's back! And I believe, what episode number is this?
100.
I think.
Yeah, I feel like we should all be wearing party hats.
Birthday hats?
Yeah.
Do you have a party hat?
We missed out on that opportunity. It's just because everything's been so crazy lately, right? Like, you're in New Jersey right now. You can see.
Yeah.
That's why you don't have your green screen going. I've been working on all kinds of crazy stuff, like not only getting ready for PAX, but like Streamhouse stuff. And Bored's been busy playing Rust.
Bored's always playing.
I know.
What's the game you always play, Bored? Natural Selection. Natural Selection 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a quality game.
Always see Bored playing that.
That's a game that teaches you how to aim in games.
Yeah.
Strategic and tactical. It's a learning curve and a half with that game, man.
Yeah, this could have been our drunk podcast.
Still can be.
It still can be.
No, I can't. I have to drive right after this.
Your mom would love us.
I'm actually going to visit my best friend. He had a kid 2 years ago. I haven't been here for 2 years. When I was here, his kid was just born, but I was super sick, so I didn't want to go and see him. And it's like my best friend in the whole world. Yeah. So right after the podcast, I'm driving over to his house to finally see his kid and play knee hockey with him.
Knee hockey?
Excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like little sticks and you go on your knees.
Oh, gotcha.
It's awesome.
Why don't I mean we haven't had you on for the last couple of weeks, due to work and just taking some time off and everything. So why don't you tell us what you've been up to, and I will play. I have a video here.
Nice.
Of
just
you.
Kind of trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing, like with Star Citizen content slowing down a little bit, trying to figure out like what games I wanted to play, focus on my community as much as possible because I think I was neglecting them a lot. So I was trying to figure out what to do with my stream. So I took a few weeks off. I just needed a break, stressing out a lot with work, my health, all that stuff. So I just needed a break from that and everything. So I didn't want to take as much time from the podcast as I ended up taking, just 2 weeks. But then last week I ended up picking up a shift where there was no chance I can get to work on time with the timing with the podcast and stuff like that. And I wasn't going to make it change because of me, So yeah, just pretty much trying to figure out what to do. I still really don't know what to do.
Somebody in chat said buy a PS4 and a Switch, problem solved. That's actually been not the Switch part, because there's only one game that looks cool, but the PS4 thing has been something I've been floating around in my head.
I've been floating consoles in my head for a while, but it's so expensive. And then the games are, you don't get a $20 game,
Yeah.
Like you go on Steam, you find a good, like Hellion, right? It was $24. That's a decent game to play on stream during this kind of time where we're, just kind of waiting
every
patiently
game is
for
like
$3.
It's like, yeah.
I'm just like it plus spending $400 on the consoles, it's just not. I don't see the value in it yet. Like maybe a PSVR.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I'd rather just get a Vive then.
Are you interested in VR at all, Twerk?
So it's just, I don't know. I've thought about it, but I don't know. What'd you say, Bored?
Are you interested in VR at all?
I've started thinking about it, yeah.
Okay.
Like
have you
actually pretty seriously, but it's so expensive too.
What have you tried?
I've never tried it.
Okay,
That's one of the things at PAX that I need to do.
yeah, definitely give it a go
Yeah.
and see if you can get involved, and make sure it's not a hype feeling, where it's like, I love this medium of gaming.
Like, what's funny is I don't necessarily want to play like your typical VR games. Like, I want to play the ones where you sit there and like have a conversation with people, troll them and stuff.
Yeah, he wants
Like
to
what you
do the
do-
Second Life nonsense in VR.
Yeah. That's what I
want
want to do.
Stream in VR. You want to
Yes,
stream
exactly.
VR in VR. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I want to do.
Yeah.
I think that's probably it.
I guess that's it. Twerk.
That's right.
There's nothing
let's
else
do some
going
form
on.
of segue. Let's do
Twerk?
some form of segue quickly, but otherwise people think we're not professional.
Board's head's really shiny. Speaking of which, Board.
Yeah. Hi. Whoa. Twerky,
Well,
sure
today
you've
he
got
has
nothing
color.
nice to say.
I know.
I've got color in my cheeks.
Yeah. He's no longer view vampiring. The color's coming back to his face.
I'm View Vampire, and as soon as you start streaming Star Citizen again, Twerk, I'm right there, viewing your
True.
spamping your views, whatever I'm doing.
I did on Sunday, this past Sunday, or Saturday, and I actually enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was nice to come back to it.
Well, I've been taking a break over the last 3 days. Actually, I've had IRL stuff to do. I say that on Tuesday I streamed the longest I've ever streamed before.
I was gonna try and play with you, but then I just didn't. The timing was bad. You were just about.
You
to
should have
go
just
offline.
left it at that. I just didn't.
Yeah.
Well, it was true. So for people that want to get involved or don't know, I'm planning to do survival games with a survival server every month. We rotate a game, so Rust, Ark, Conan, stuff like that. It will be with Redacted community, my community, any of the other Star Citizen communities that want to get involved, whether that be test or whatever. People more than welcome to kind of join us when we do that. And we will be doing some mods, some crazy stuff. There'll be some rules and a thread. And I just want people to get involved as communities and play other games together that aren't necessarily Star Citizen, because I enjoy survival games as well. I love survival games.
I'm really starting to like them after Conan and Daisy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Conan's what made me think about it. I tried Hellion for a bit, and I like Hellion, but it's there's not enough to it at the moment.
Hellion makes me feel stupid.
Yeah, as Saurus correctly said, it makes you feel stupid a lot of the time. I needs to be some.
I feel like I needed to play KSP to play Hellion, and I don't like that.
Well, there's no signposting at all, and there's not enough for me yet. I need aliens to fight. I need action as well.
No, this game that we're seeing you play here, this is Rust, right? It looks like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds a little bit. I guess without the battle royale aspect.
I mean,
but it's a very similar aesthetic.
Battle royale. So during this stream, I got told to shut the fuck up for my stream. I was making the sound of a train for about 2 minutes while I was following the rest of my mates in a choo-choo. I started to even annoy me, so thankfully someone stopped me. So on Thursday there was the Rust wipe. Like I'm Jonathan Rothing it. Rust wipe. So every month they wipe all the Rust servers, and then you run rounds with everything new again, new map, new everything.
So the maps are procedurally generated?
The maps are procedurally generated.
Awesome. I didn't know that.
Every month they get entirely wiped. Every 2 weeks there's an update for Rust as well. They add new stuff, which is actually pretty cool. This is actually my base I'm running back to with my...
A game with Delta patching.
I just watched you throw a pickaxe at that dude.
That's my mate.
For the best.
And then he shot me in the head by accident as well. It was like, I was trying not to hit you. It was like, good job. Good job with that. But it's all about raiding bases and attacking people and being industrious. And I really love it. I love it. It's my favorite survival game by far.
Yeah, I want to give it a go with you. It seemed a little too hard to just jump into
because it's been around for a long time too.
Yeah, so I was scared to just go in and try and play it. I feel like I wouldn't like it, so I wanted to go in with somebody that was a little bit more of a vet. So now that you're playing it, I definitely want to join.
Well, we can teach you all the ropes and everything, and get you involved on the server politics. There's always server politics. Like there'll be some people that are just total dickbags. There's the occasional racist that will draw a SWAT sticker on his base, which you instantly will remove from the map. There's some great things that you can do because you're just like, this guy's a dick. I'm gonna blow up his stuff. So I like that aspect of it, and there's like a proper like push and pull of people you'll meet, and you're like, this guy's gonna die, or no, this guy's pretty cool. And then the betrayal of when the guy you thought was cool stabs you in the back and steals all your stuff. It's a good game. I like it. But other than that, I've been re-gearing a lot of my stuff for some of the stuff that I want to do for 2.6.2 onwards, the new stats page and lots of other stuff that's coming out for Star Citizen in the future. So I've just been reading up on stuff and trying to re-gear things. I've had troubles reading over the last few days as well. So on Monday, I was trying to do a video, I just can't read. And today, I started to try and do a video, it's like, I can't read.
Ever since my heart thing, I get dizzy when I read.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know. It's really annoying.
I'm dyslexic, and some days I can assimilate all the information in the world. And other days, no ability to at all. This week's been one of those weeks so far. What about you, Saurus? What have you been up to?
I've actually been up to a lot of stuff, less on the gaming side of things, more on the technology side of things. So in the past little bit, we've had things like the Google Home show up. I picked up, I have 4 Xbox One controllers now for couch co-op gaming. I had the wireless cameras come in for the stream house. So I was working on the overlay, and if anybody follows my Twitter, you would have seen the first thing that I put out that was very much, it looked very security camera-ish. So I've been working on a new overlay, and that's actually what I have on the screen here in the video, is the new overlay for the stream house. All those cameras that you see, right now there's only 2 of them, are fully controllable and fully motorized 360 degrees. Which is pretty cool, and I can do that remotely. I have closed captions on, that's funny. And you can do that remotely, so that's been something I've sort of been playing around with and having a lot of fun trying to figure out how to solve problems with hardware and software stuff. Another issue I was running across was the monitors and the Chromecast that I was using, because the monitors are weird resolution of 1680 by 1050. Yeah. They're weird, but I picked up the monitors for $20 a piece. So I was like, okay, I can afford to buy 8 of these and mount them to the wall, throw a Chromecast in them, and cast chat to it. And then I have chat in every room. The problem is the Chromecast was like defaulting to 480p. It was disgusting. So my solution is one that makes me a little bit sad. But it means that all the Asus 1080p monitors that I use for my stream PC, I'm just going to swap. So I use the shitty monitors. It only holds programs. I don't use it for gaming or anything, right?
True.
Whereas the other ones, like other people are actually going to use and see when they come over to the house and stuff like that. So that's how I'm going to deal with it for the time being. But I was also working on
something I learned a while ago, Saurus, with other people. Other people aren't me.
Mm-hmm.
And I want what's best for my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, so this is the thing, is it's not terrible. I haven't made the switch yet, but I have with my other computer. It's not the end of the world. I'll still be able to see all the information I can see. It's just the other way around, it just won't work. And that would mean that I'd have to buy more monitors, which I already have to buy a bunch of shit. So it just is probably just going to be a temporary solution until I can get more monitors or whatever, but that's what I'm going to have to do.
I need 144 hertz, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
So I have a 144 hertz monitor, but because of the way my capture card is working and whatever, I have to have VSync on and triple buffering, and then everything stays at 60 FPS, and I can't get above it. It makes me sad too. But it is what it is. You know, once you go 144 hertz, you don't go back. But if if you have no choice, you got to do it.
It's a way of life. those 144 hertz. It literally feels like people are sanding my eyes. if it's below 60, it's sanding my eyes. Like sometimes Star Citizen, I love you, Star Citizen, but sometimes you want to sand my eyes, and I know you do, but you only hate me because you love me.
So that was one thing. The other thing is, and I showed you this earlier, Twerk, is I was working on new transitions. So dude, the channel hasn't seen them yet, but I can use them. Can I use them here? Yeah, I'll add one here really quickly. I'll save them for later, most of them, but we'll add one. Let's go. Here, we'll do this one. And then we'll go about there. And so there are different ones. This is only one, but I'll show you guys what this looks like. And so it transitions in between scenes. So there's that one. I have another one where there's just the logo that swipes across, or a logo that comes in and spins and stuff like that. Which is all pretty neat stuff. And then the other thing I've been working on is my IRL thing, and I fixed it. It's a little MacGyverish. So on the one side, you guys know I have the GoPro with the gimbal. On the other side, I have a selfie stick that mounts to the shoulder strap that holds my phone out, so I can go hands free, and I can get a face cam and see chat while I'm streaming the live stream. But the thing is even with everything that I have, because of the space that's on my strap and how far out the camera is, it tries to drop down because it's too heavy, too far out, because my phone's too heavy. So I had a solution, and on the back handle of my backpack, I have a carabiner, like one of those things that you would use for climbing. You know, the little metal rope thing. Yeah, little hook thing with a latch. At first, I was just using a shoestring, and I was tying it from that to the end of where my camera or where my phone was, and it was holding it right, like it stabilized it and everything. But the thing is, it looked super janky. So I went to Canadian Tire, which is like a hardware store here in Canada, and I bought some fishing line. So I have the carabiner and fishing line to it. So it's like these invisible lines, and it holds it, but it works amazing. It just looks it looks a little MacGyvery. So I'm really looking forward to using that, because the first time I'll be using it will be when I'm going to pick up Twerk from the airport in Boston. We're going to live stream it.
Wait, you're going to come get me?
Yeah.
With what car? I thought it would just
An Uber.
So you're going to pick me up in an Uber, and then we're going to go back?
Yeah, I'll go there, and I'll wait for you. And then we'll go back to the hotel, drop all your shit off, and then we'll go
together. Limo service?
Sounds good.
Where's the limo service? Yeah. Twerk, send more money, and we'll do a limo.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
CIG.
Everywhere.
CIG, please!
Come on.
No.
That backer money used to be used for Twerk, getting a limo.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So
should be cool.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what I've been up to. Mostly on the tech / hardware side of things. Fooling around with the new cameras. I picked up a new Google On Hub as well, which is their wireless router that can do 2 gigs transfer up and down. So for example, my network cameras, because they don't go over the internet, I could broadcast 4K over them if I wanted to, if they supported it. And it can connect up to 1,000 devices. So yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Now it doesn't have a switch built into it, but I have a switch already. So that's a 8-port switch or something. So it has one Ethernet out. I plug in the normal switch into that, and then my computers are plugged into that. But that'll be everything for like all the Hue lights in the house, the Google Home, all of the cameras, all kinds of stuff. So it's been pretty interesting. Now, before we go any further, guys, I want to let you know if you have any questions, !question in chat. yeah, you can direct those to myself, Twerk, or Bored, or all of us.
Hello.
Hello. That's what Bored sounds like, if you didn't know. And
We're going on an adventure.
Yeah.
Today we're going on an adventure.
We are going on an adventure. And that being said, also, before I jump into that, Twerk and I will both be at PAX East.
Yes.
I'll be there from Friday morning, because I'm landing at like midnight. Friday morning until Tuesday afternoon for myself. Twerk will be there from Friday to Sunday and leaves on Monday morning.
Yep.
So, if anybody wants to hang out with us, the best way to get a hold of us is through Twitter or through Discord.
Yeah, both of those would be...
Yeah, for me, because I only have data in the States. Or, yeah, and just let us know. And I think, have we decided on a day that we're going to do a dinner or anything?
No, so we have to talk about that still.
You guys are paying.
No, we'll probably have like a small little get together. I know there's a Bar Citizen.
That's on Saturday.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do our thing on Friday or Sunday.
Yeah, maybe Sunday.
Maybe Sunday wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah. Everybody's kind of winding down. Have a nice, like, relaxing lunch or dinner.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to come hang out with us, feel free to come say hi. I'm going to look half machine, half man with my setup, so I'll stand out. And
I'm going to be standing behind him.
Twerk will be with us. There'll be a couple other streamers, like if you guys know Kiante and Bunhead and some other people.
That's the only other streamers that are going to be there at the whole of PAX East.
No, that'll be hanging out with us.
Oh,
it's going to be so... I don't have socks.
Last event we went to, Twerk, you were giving away socks. You had so many socks.
Yeah.
That's
this
true.
time, no socks.
It's going to be 21 degrees Fahrenheit.
Why do you have no socks?
Because I live in Florida. I don't need socks. It's 80 degrees Fahrenheit every day.
Okay.
Everyone needs socks, bro.
Nobody needs socks.
Wait,
you wear sandals
what?
every day.
Oh, man.
Do you wear a suit with sandals?
I'm not wearing my suit socks, like my dress socks around. Those are the only pairs of socks that I have are dress socks for work. That's it.
Okay. We're gonna go. Don't worry, guys. When I grab Twerk, we're gonna go to a Target or something. We'll go get him some socks. We'll get him some clean underwear. We'll it'll be good. It'll be good.
I want you to sew his name into his underwear as well. Socks. Make sure he doesn't lose them again.
Yeah, make sure he doesn't lose them. Sew them together. I'll be bringing the fishing line in case my little tether breaks and I can replace it. So we'll just like tie them together or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's jump in. Basically, I just want to take this podcast to talk about how awesome ATV was.
Yeah.
And go over a lot of the stuff from that. There was some other things as well that we can talk about afterwards. I don't necessarily have them written down. I definitely don't. But there's some things like the mining thing, for example.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to talk about it.
But
we could talk. Like, it's super exciting, but we could talk. But it's like, what do you say other than I am excited? You know?
Well, we can speculate on exactly what's going to be in it.
Yeah, I think that's what we will do. Because it was very open-ended, right? So.
Yeah. Vague. I think it's the
vague.
Open-ended.
Vague is the word you're looking for. Yeah, so this last ATV was Chris Roberts and Tony Zervik, and was the Frankfurt and Character Edition.
Yes.
The first
if they said the Character Edition, I would have been like, again?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the character customization, which we'll go into here in a little bit, was pretty fantastic. That being said, FPS weapons. They have a weapons team. It's broken into two sections: their FPS weapons team and their ship weapons team.
Ship and components or whatever.
And I have a quick little video here of one of the new shotguns from Castec Arms.
Now, we've been seeing this, and like we've saw it in...
Well, we've seen a bunch of the Castec Arms weapons.
But this weapon in particular, we've seen a number of times now. But it seems like it's like in-engine. Yeah, double barrel ballistic.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea. That's kind of like quite a low tech kind of thing that you have in games, a double barreled shotgun. But it's just, it looks quite nice, doesn't it?
And it's cool, like even though we don't I don't follow a lot of the written lore, and we don't have lore for like weapons and armors and stuff in the game at the moment. You can still sort of tell where things go. You know, like you can tell that this is very much like an outlaw weapon.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
It's like a mix of old and new. It's very Drake inspired.
If you go on to the star map, there is some lore.
Yeah, I no, I'm not saying, I'm saying like in game right now. There's nothing like, you know, that's like, oh, Castic Arms is a dealer for outlaw weapons or whatever. But it's like, it's very clear that's what it is, right? This isn't a UEE weapon provider. And
I think Castic Arms is built to be literally the cheap weapon manufacturer. So they're creating like AK-47s, which are really effective into the hands of civilians.
Yeah.
And this is what they do so well, is they design the weapon where it doesn't even need any lore. You could just look at it and know kind of the role that it's supposed to fit, right?
Yeah.
This is their style guides.
This is what that's what I'm getting so at. Well. And it looks amazing. I also just noticed at the top and the back in the clear part, those are all the bullets, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, that looks like rounds.
Yeah, those are all the different rounds. I just noticed from the side, they're the circle things, and then the top is the red shells. So I guess there's some sort of mechanical or automatic thing. 2, 4, 6.
Do you know what
looks
that
like
made
16
me just
rounds
think of?
In there. What's that?
And this I feel like can be implemented very easily with like the emote system. Is, you know how we have like the thumbs up, the thumbs down, the right and left, and all that. There should be an inspect weapon with a button.
I've been saying that. I've been saying that the whole time. They have that in like CS:GO.
Yeah.
Because we do that. That animation is there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So
when you pull it off the weapon,
with the button wouldn't be that difficult.
I agree wholeheartedly with that. That's something I said before. It'd be cool just to
for a weapon like this to see how many rounds you have. Because
exactly.
Like obviously it'll be on our HUD, but
and there's
maybe
a little
this weapon isn't that high tech.
It looks like there's a little screen on the back too.
Yeah.
But I mean, even with that, yeah, it would be cool to see, to sort of put it out and look at it and be like, yeah, this is my weapon, kind of thing. And then moving forward, ship weapons. So they were finalizing the pipeline for the modular and upgradable systems. Now this is interesting because last we didn't know that we were going to get modular ship weapons. We knew we were going to get upgradable, like upgrades in tunable, right? Like overclocking and stuff like that. But here we can see level 1 through level 3. Now, something that I asked Brian Chambers when he was by my channel is, I assumed that depending on what the weapon was, you upgrade it, but it just makes upgrades, right? So a higher ammo count, a longer range, more accuracy, less heat, whatever.
And what you mean is that like level 1 goes to level 2 and they're standardized, they're not customizable?
Right.
Okay.
And that's still what I understand is the case.
Which is kind of like
But I also assume that they would all stay the same size.
Yeah.
Now, when I was talking to Brian, my understanding from talking to him was most of them are going to be the same size. Some of them will change sizes.
Interesting. So you might, if you upgrade high enough, you may potentially lose like a gimbal option or whatever.
Right.
Right. Depending on the ship you use.
Yeah, so I don't know how you guys feel about that. I personally would rather have it stay within the same size because that's the size of the actual weapon. I could also be misunderstanding him from when we talked. I would, like, to me it just makes sense, right? Like you look at the weapons, you look at the level 1 to level 3s, they're all roughly the same size from level 1 to level 3. So they should stay in that same size range. But who knows?
For them to start conforming to sizes and pipes and item system stuff so that it is all standardized in some way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything is far too complicated.
Yeah, it gets too hard. It's like, your repeater level 1 can fit on this weapon with the size 1, mount, but because when it upgrades to level 3, it's a size 2 now.
I mean,
It's like that can be confusing.
The size of the weapon, the literal size of it, should determine what hardpoint it can fit onto. And then the power of it and stuff should be determined by the pipes and plugs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You could technically have a size 1 weapon that is more powerful than a size 3 weapon in certain situations if it had the correct pipes and mounts. I'm not saying that that's going to exist.
Right.
I'm saying that it's a technical
It's a
possibility.
potential.
It's a potential.
Definitely.
I agree. It's definitely early, and it's definitely an interesting thing to start thinking about, because it's the first time that we've gotten away from no, there will be no crafting, no, there will be no the way that the crafting would have always been is what we were always telling people was you would just tweak things, right? But now it seems like you're actually potentially putting physical different items in, so like sub items onto this item.
Well, I think it just upgrades directly, right? Like a level 2 is always going to be the same components. So it's like you take it to a shop and you're like, I'd like the level 2 treatment, please. And then they give you back
but
the
it'll
level
be
2.
those subcomponents that make it level 2.
Yeah.
I guess is where I was going.
But I mean, it's cool. It's not something I was expecting with weapons. I wasn't expecting to see the different levels of them.
Are we thinking it's going to be a similar system then to the modular system for first-person shooter weapons?
No, not at all. Yeah, level 1 to 3, very linear. It would be cool to see it that way, but I think it's going to be very much just a linear progression. Whereas with the weapons, and we'll talk about this more, is very much like individual little parts that you can swap out. I don't think that's going to be the case with the ship weapons.
Okay. It just, I don't know. That's why I said it was like kind of meh. Because if it's very linear, wouldn't everybody just go to level 3? You know,
right?
It doesn't seem like there's enough of like the trade-offs.
But we don't know what those trade-offs are, right?
That's true.
That might change the amount of power it takes, the amount of heat it takes. It might change the way it plugs.
It may change. Yeah, one may have more ammunition, but it may shoot slower, but further, right? Slower but further, and heat faster. Or the level 2 could shoot faster, but not as far, and heats less or something like that.
That's what I don't like about this idea necessarily. I preferred the way how it kind of was, where you can choose, at least this is how it was with components, and I feel like they should do the same with weapons, where you had the option to say, well, I prefer, a less power draw weapon, because I'm trying to go with something more stealthy. So maybe level 1, 2, and 3 are actually not levels. Maybe they're options, and they're just calling them level 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
Or at least that's how I would like to have it. Is that you have 3 options. You can have less power draw, less heat, but less damage, or
less
and so
ammo
on.
or
Just the same things that you were saying.
Effectively, we're having a version A, B, and C, but are effectively different weapons.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to see. But if you're calling them level 1, 2, and 3, it doesn't seem that way. If that's how you're.
It seems like the level 3s are what everybody wants.
Mega map for something that just makes you load in faster. Yeah. Which it's not a bigger map and it's not a different map. So their naming conventions aren't exactly normal.
Right.
So I'll take it for a grain of salt for now.
That's in charge of naming conventions, Twerk. That's why.
You're fired.
Yeah. We need someone like me.
It was probably Chris Roberts that named it Mega Map too.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Chris.
Sorry, the project's done. He's fired.
Yeah, so the Germany visual effects team has been working on procedural particle systems for planet surfaces. That system is in place now. They were also showing the new oxygen mechanics. And things like that. And I have a video of the O2 mechanics.
I'm not sure anybody liked what they saw there.
Brian said this not only in the video, but he also said this when he was in the channel. This is very much a first implementation. This is not final by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think they may like it either. But it's what I think is important is showing how it goes from nothing.
This is what CIG should be doing.
And all the way, right? So it shows the different strength and how it's going to affect it overall. I suggested some DayZ
Gray?
So to the black and white from color, and then even more of a tunnel vision, like so it blurs the edges more and more, so it's like really like it becomes tunnel vision over time. Would be cool.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's sort of what happens, if you get really hurt or or really sick or whatever.
Like this just seems like a little bit of a.
Well, yeah, it's the motion blur. I don't like motion blur.
I think this sort of stuff obviously is important for the room system and environmental hazards and effects.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, it's obviously it wasn't the best effect or whatever, but it's getting worked on. It's important that they go, well, there's oxygen, there's going to be acid, lightning, whatever.
Yeah, you need these effects, whether
absolutely
some of them you might not like. And the benefit is, if you don't like it, don't let it happen to you as well.
Don't take your helmet off in space.
Yes, but to some extent, like this is where we have a say on some things, and I'm sure they heard from us and were like, wow, they don't like that, because I mean,
don't
honestly,
like motion blur.
I was getting a little nauseous, and even the people in chat were like, you can't have effects that affect people like that in real life.
I mean, if they put VR with that on, you'd feel sick.
Yeah, exactly.
That's appropriate as an effect.
So you have to choose a different option. But what, like, going back to what WTF said, I completely agree with you. The fact that they did this in a super early state of something, I'm just happy that they were actually able to, like, that they actually showed it to us, because they've been so, even with like Happy Hour when they had the ship guys on, not that yet, or all this kind of stuff, like they just showed it and they didn't care, and they shouldn't care, because it's the whole point of the process is sometimes we're going to say we hate something, and then you're going to learn that, okay, well, they don't like it, let's do something different before you implement anything, so it was nice to see that. I hope they don't go, well, oh, everyone hated it, let's not show stuff that early anymore. I think it's the complete opposite. It's, we hated your idea, sorry.
But yeah,
sometimes we're not going to like it.
I do want to say that it is still very early and a work in progress. And sounds like it's going to change. But the underlying tech behind it, I guess, is showing great progress and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, what other effects, I guess, would you like to see? What kind of sort of status effects would you like to see, other than where you're losing oxygen?
Okay, so we'd be losing oxygen. I mean, getting injured. We see some effects in Star Marine, right?
Well, one of the big things with the injured stuff is right now, like limping or using your arms and stuff. Those things aren't in yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, like bleeding out.
Visual effects, are they?
No.
So
I'd like to see if you're breathing in harmful gas.
Ooh, like choking.
Yeah, well, not necessarily choking, because I think that lack of oxygen should be a different effect from choking as well.
Like I'm thinking, like harmful gas does something like makes your eyes tear up, kind of, right? Like I'm thinking in like real life, right? Like it would make your eyes tear up and stuff. So maybe if it sort of did some sort of liquefy, I don't know if that's possible or not, but.
And
we don't have flashbangs yet, so how a flashbang would act?
They need different effects as well for when you are wearing different versions of gear in different things. So weather effects is another one. Like if we're in a sandstorm, or if we're in a snowstorm, or if we're on a very cold environment, how does that affect us when we're naked, effectively, or when we've got certain levels of armor and protection on? So I'd like to see. I'm really interested in seeing how they plan to implement all of that separately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a temperature thing.
But yeah, really hot as well, I suppose. In a really hot environment, it was trouble breathing. They've talked about like water as well. Like there's not going to be invisible walls, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
So being wet, even.
I'm not touching that one.
Why not?
Big. All right.
Why don't you like
moving forward, level design team has been working on modular locations. Their Supercell posts are going to have initially 3 types of hydroponics: mining and storage. They showed some of the hydroponic stuff.
So that was the interior that we saw?
That was the interior of one of the hydroponics areas.
Oh, cool.
And that's another situation where they showed something
early, before textures.
Early, yeah.
I felt that Brian was upset that he had to show that picture for it. He kind of
I
said,
think that and he said it on Batgirl's show, is there's times where the guys won't let him show stuff. So it's the artists sometimes. It's not like Chris saying, "Oh no, we're not ready to show that." It's the artist saying, "I'm not comfortable. It's not done." You know, he's saying, "I'm not done with this. Don't show it yet." It's what it
show
seems
the white
like.
box.
Yeah. And I think that's what we got with some of the moons that we'll talk about later, and maybe this.
Yeah. But
You know?
pretty interesting for to sort of see more of the outpost stuff, because up until now we've only seen the outside of them.
And we've seen the progress of them, like exactly in this situation. We've seen it in pretty gray boxy to like the beautiful images, and then in engine stuff.
Right.
So we've seen the process has gone relatively quick, and now seeing the inside of some of these things that we might potentially be spending quite a bit of time in. I mean, we don't really know. We can sit here and speculate quite a bit on what their actual plans for this type of stuff is. But I mean, we all know that these planets are going to have to be filled with gameplay, and I think they're going to be centered around these things, you know.
Well, like I said, we've seen the exterior. Now the exterior and the interior are both going to be modular and can be combined with different parts.
Yes.
And so this leads me to think that, is this something that they want to lead into with sort of building your own, if they're going to be this modular?
So what they said is they're going to give it to the NPCs first, but they absolutely want to give it to us.
Mm-hmm.
It's just if they can. I guess the question is, do we think they can?
I mean,
and I think the answer is absolutely yes, but then it goes to be when.
When do they try to add that in?
Yeah, because how much can they keep piling on to 3.0 before it's just like, oh, the game's released.
Yeah.
You know, it's over. We just put everything
3.0
in.
is the release. Yeah.
It's
just that
everything's ready for 3.0.
Exactly.
Patch is delayed forever. Yeah, so I had put the questions in here before I knew what that was.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're also pushing even more of the planetary tech. And one of the cool things that they were showing were the clouds. They were talking about how they can tint them and they can make them look alien. And once again, they were moving a star around so you could see like all the shadows and everything.
I mean, for me, that's nothing we haven't seen before.
Not really. The way that they do the clouds now, though, that they have volume, is new.
Oh, the volumetric gas stuff and the volumetric,
like when you're looking at it from underneath the clouds and you can see them. It's on screen right now where you see them all above. It's really, really cool.
Like we've seen a sunset in Star Citizen multiple times now, and it's kind of just like, I'd like to see one in the game.
I'd like to see it in the game,
please.
But at higher than 20 FPS. While you're at it.
Like at the same time, the big thing about this episode, and I said this before the podcast, was the way Brian was talking is that it's, and I don't want to get people overly excited, and I don't want to get myself overly excited, but this was the first time that they were kind of talking about things like they're coming along, and it's not stuff that we're working on. It's stuff that we finished. It's
stuff that's in. And that's actually a really good segue into the next thing, which was their solar system editor.
Yeah.
Right? Like showing that, these are the tools we have. And not only are these tools...
these tools are done, you know?
Like
they don't
something
have to
that we're
them.
doing, they're done, and they're very intuitive looking. Like these... right now they have it's called the SOLED, so the solar editor. And they have things like on the right hand side, you can see NADID, so whether it's a planet, a moon, a satellite, whatever, and then their orbit radius, so how far out that orbit is, and then the orbit speed of how fast it's going around those planets, and they can nest within each other.
Some of this stuff, it's semi interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of see this stuff, you go, well, that's great that they've got the tool for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's all it is.
But obviously that tool was also essential for doing what they did. So
Exactly.
I kind of had assumed they already had it.
Well, the thing that I look at it as, this looks like it would be deployable for modders. Right? This is it looks very easy to work with. Like, I look at it and it's like, I feel like I know how to use it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's super straightforward.
Yeah, they are literally dragging and dropping object containers.
Yeah, and so
this is here, this is here, this is
for me, looking at it from a non-technical person, someone who feels stupid by playing some video games, I look at this and it's like, it makes a lot of sense. And so you can see the hierarchy on the left-hand side of the orbital items and what those are. Like, you can see each thing is a satellite, and you can see what ones are considered as planetary masses, right? So Crusader and Stanton are the planet. Like, so Stanton is your solar system, and Crusader is the planet. Hurston's the planet. But then the satellites are moons. They're other satellites, and then you could go down into those satellites and give them their own orbits as well.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really cool on how that works. And you can see on the right hand side the parent, the children, things that go underneath that, all the different object containers, also on the bottom left hand side, the sizes and everything on the right hand side, because they're working in such huge scales. It's all very straightforward, and this was something that excited me quite a bit.
We don't know how complex the tool was beforehand, and
right.
I suppose the thing.
Well, they didn't have a tool beforehand. That's what they said. They didn't have a tool beforehand, so they didn't have a way to do it. But it's like, this is, imagine trying to code this.
No.
Right? Like, I would have no idea, right? Like, having a graphic interface like this is really, really cool. And shows that they're thinking, like, a tool like this shows that they're thinking in the long term for sure, because then they can go in and add more systems with like assets really quickly.
Yeah, it's the guys go make the assets, and as soon as the assets are done, they're just plugged in. I mean, I'm sure it's more complicated than that, but what we're looking at I think
it streamlines a lot of the process.
Yeah, and we're like, it is so annoying because like we saw a long time ago when they streamlined like the process of them streamlining making ships, and now we see how quickly they make ships. And it's annoying to see that process over again, but because like obviously I just want the game. I just want to play the game. I'm just like everybody else. I'm excited. I want to play the game, but it's also exciting to see the process because you know that the tools coming in are going to make the streamlining of this similar to the way they make ships, and they're going to start pumping things out quickly like they are now. You know. And then, but it's just one of those things. I'm ready. I'm ready to play it.
I'm ready for it.
I think some of us have been ready for a couple of years.
I mean, people have been ready since 2012. You know, Chris told us his dream, and now we just wanted to play it.
Gift dream, please.
Yeah.
Give dream. Also, the environment art team grew by a couple artists. They were working on procedural moons around Crusader. I remember when we watched this live, people lost their minds with this video. And this is the moons. Now, I can't see the notes, Twerk, but if you want to cover the rest here, I'll bring this up. Yeah,
so the first one, I've mixed them up. The first one is either Daymar or Selen. And it looks like very like the Earth's moon. It's gray and rocky. But the loop is on the ice planet that we're looking at. Okay, so it just popped up. So Brian Chambers came into my chat. I assume he came into yours as well, and said that one is yellow.
Yes.
Which is crazy because it looks nothing like yellow now. The reddish colored moon, I believe, is Daymar. And then Selen is the moon colored, like our moon, the gray one. And apparently it's turning green. That's what Luke Presley said, is that it might be green in color. So they're visually going to be different. I assume there's going to be different things that will be there. And I guess we'll briefly talk about it now, is that on Happy Hour, they kind of mentioned that mining would be coming in.
Yeah.
You would have to assume that mining would be related to these moons, And then a long time ago, they mentioned commodities being in. So what kind of commodities would we be taking off of these moons? Different colors, different types of commodities, things like that. So it starts to like get the gears moving, and you start getting excited about, holy shit, 3.0 is going to be even better than what we thought we were getting when they told us about CitizenCon, right?
What I'd say is that 3.0 is being merged with some of 3.1's features.
Yes.
And probably some other future patches released.
As expected, right? Because 3.0 was supposed to come at the end of the year. It didn't. So now, what are they going to just not make features? There's still people that are working on making features, while there's people that are working on the back end to get this shit in. So I definitely expect us to get some ships before they said we were going to get them, like the Prospector, like the what else did they say they were working on? What was the other ship? It was in the monthly report. You remember?
No.
I don't want to say something wrong and regret it. 1 second.
Yeah, that's kind of why I stopped too. But yeah, I mean, like the Reclaimer. There you go. That was the one that they had spoken about as well. So that was one that I wasn't sure if I knew about, that I wasn't supposed to know about.
The Reclaimer very much excites me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have been.
That's the next ship I'm really, really excited about coming in. Everything else is sort of.
I'm not excited about either of these. Unless they come with game.
Just with mechanics, yeah.
Yes.
Some very exciting stuff about the Reclaimer on my visit. I've been given the okay for some of my NDA stuff now, and I saw some of the work on the Reclaimer, the internals and stuff, modeled, and I was surprised how far it is along, and it is fucking amazing looking. It's like Nostromo 2.0, or it's awesome. I'll talk more about it later, but it's that ship. It possibly is my favorite now.
I'm glad I bought one. I waited for a really long time.
It's amazing. People are going to be very, very happy about that. Like, it's cool. It's cool as fuck.
Yeah, that's sort of a ship that I've been considering. That's the only one outside of the Drake lineup that I'm like, I really like the idea of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it fits. But no, like going back to the moons, which we're talking about, the moons and the way that they're doing them, for me at least, was starting to tie in the gameplay together. Because obviously we saw, I mean, for the procedural planet demo or whatever at CitizenCon, we saw something that we wouldn't even be getting potentially in 3.0, right? We saw, what was the name of the planet, the system? Do you guys remember?
I thought it was a planet.
Yeah, well, the system, it was Lear, the Lear system, and we're on Lear 3, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not in Stanton, so I don't think we were even going to be
going
on that planet.
They said that they'll be putting that in, even though it's not.
They'll put that in as well? Okay, cool. Yeah. But regardless, it was, relatively empty. How much gameplay would there be, really? So I'm not that, obviously I want the game now, I said that before, but I'm not that bummed out. I really want to see them do their next release.
I'm just excited about
filled with gameplay.
Like, for the planetary stuff, I'm excited about, like, speeder bike, just messing around on dragonflies and stuff.
Yeah, like, you don't even necessarily need the gameplay right away either, because look at how we're getting excited. Like, wow, that looks so cool, and we're seeing a you have
15-second
video
actual
where we're going to spend hours
planet-sized. Well, you have actual planet-sized entities that you can go and explore and just look for cool, random shit.
I think that's what a lot of people are looking forward to, looking for cool, random shit. Just like, I want to explore and find something no one else has found. I think that was the joy.
And I think that's actually going to be possible.
Yeah.
For the first time, right?
Yeah.
Because
I mean, the extent of that we have in
but you can't find this. You find everything in this game for the first time.
Yeah, like for the extent of the PU, the only thing that you have that's really explorable is the yellow asteroid field.
Yes.
Right? And then that's so small that you get that. Yeah, but it's so small that
Easter egg.
Everything gets found in like the matter of a couple days.
Yeah. To be fair,
everything will.
We
get found.
spent
Yeah.
we spent a long time looking for that thing. Obviously, we're fighting bugs in Evocati,
Mm-hmm.
but I know me and Dastro were the two that were on it, and we never found it. And he was doing it in offline mode, from what I understand. So I played it in game. I never found it until it was released, to like for viewable, like for where we could stream it. So even in a yellow asteroid field, which holy shit is obviously going to change completely.
Yeah.
Because all the asteroids now need to be ice, right?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So I mean, are we going to be mining water, or whatever ice? Like
With some ice mineral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, okay. I suppose water is needed quite a lot in
for
space.
life.
I mean, watch The Expanse, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I caught up on The Expanse because
I haven't seen it yet. I'm waiting till all the episodes are done for this season so I can binge watch
episode tonight. I can't wait.
Like
my friend, like we're gonna be eating dinner. I'm gonna be like,
I gotta
go.
I gotta go. Expanse is on. No,
I obviously won't give any spoilers. I'm really enjoying this season.
On those moons are complete. They look like they're a single ecosystem for the moons, whereas the planets are multiple ecosystems. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
They're also working on refining the geological elements that are unique to each moon. So for each thing, so there you saw like the ice shelves and stuff like that.
And the gray looking planet,
yeah,
there was totally a volcano or a very large.
Yeah, and I think the rocks and the rocks are more maybe spiky and stuff like that, or
I think that moon's supposed to be full of geysers and volcanoes.
Yeah,
that's its thing.
That's its jam.
Where'd you go there to mine? I'm gonna go mine some geysers and volcanoes, mate.
So
boom.
As you could tell just by looking at it, the collision still looked a little off. It looked like they're hovering above everything.
Yeah.
Still, now that's obviously something that they're going to fix, and they're gonna mesh the collision properly with the actual surface. But from a visual standpoint, like how awesome they just look.
They're
amazing.
done.
They look awesome.
They look great. It's just a matter of, I mean, how big of an area did they have done for us to show? Like maybe they still have to model out a lot of the rest of Yellow. Like we didn't see a big swooping overview of Yellow really. Like let's look all around it like we saw of like Layer 3 or anything. Right. So how much more of that do they have to do? And then, I mean, it still is always going to come down to, can they get it in?
This is what they need to do for Yellow specifically. Add a little bit of an atmosphere. Add a little bit of atmosphere. Okay. Make it really windy. Throw some snow in that shit. Right. So it's really snowy. Right. The really windy and snowy. Throw in a couple animals that you can cut open and slide inside. Put a couple walking robots maybe that
Darth Skywalker.
Some AT-ATs, some AT-STs. Maybe we got, some ships already look like a snow speeder, like the Buccaneer, right? You're good. Flying along the planet's surface. Got some AT-ATs going around. Bam, you got Hoth. Throw in a couple snow caves.
The only reason I backed Star Citizen in the first place was for Hoth.
Yeah. I backed Star Citizen because I wanted to play Star Wars.
Mine is
Battlefront.
Yeah.
The moon of Endor. I really want that. The moon of
we're gonna
the
get
Pacific
a jungle.
Northwest. Yeah. That I can drive my Dragonfly through.
We'll
they
get
haven't
this.
really shown much jungle yet because I think that is going to be CPU and GPU intensive.
And also requires a lot more assets than a barren rock or barren ice planet or desert planet.
They're starting to get that. They've got the bending branches of stuff as well now with separately and stuff like that. So
yeah, I'm super excited to see all of those, like all the different ecosystems and everything being pulled in. And we know that they're working on the blending of ecosystems for planets. So when it goes into a desert, into a jungle, into some plains, into mountains, like it all will blend more realistically and more naturally. Oh man, planets, moons. We're like, yeah. Bored. These are my notes. Tell us about the hurricane.
Hurricane's a shipmate in Star Citizen. Boom! Next one. No, so
It's a ship. There's a ship on the turret.
Yeah. There's two ships on the turret, and then that turret is on the ship.
So we had the Hurricane and the FAQs come out over the last couple of weeks. The Hurricane is basically a heavy fighter glass cannon going for high damage, high armament, but low armor. It's going to be fast in a single straight line. It's basically got like a Hornet's engine on it, but it's like significantly lighter than a Hornet. And that's because its rest of it is gun and no armor. So it's an older fighter. It's going to have some problems with it. It's going to be in the game. I think they said this year. I think they said that they were planning to get it in the game this year, which is pretty cool. Solid on the pipeline. It is a very simple ship. There's no extra mechanics for it. It's a 2-seater fighter. And they talked about turret mechanics a lot with it. So this is going to be one of the ships that help build turret mechanics. That turret that it's got is possibly a proprietary turret. We don't really 100% know yet. That gives it 4 size 3 weapons just on that turret.
Just on the
so
turret.
insane.
And then 2 size 3 turrets on gimbals on the nose.
So 2 size 4 mounts on its nose. And that's just insanity for a ship. But it has a very specific playstyle, which is it can't really be flown by a single pilot unless you slave the weapon forward. And it looks like most turrets, especially for that kind of ship, will be slaveable.
Mm-hmm.
So you
this is all like items 2.0 stuff, right? That once item 2.0 stuff comes in, we should be able to slave turrets to the pilot.
But there is an intention here for turreted ships like this. So manned turret ships like the Vanguard or this, they want you to prefer to have that gunner position filled with a real person. They don't want you to put a fixed mount or slave them. If they want that to be your like secondary option, they want to go, well, a crewman is significantly better because they can shoot, they can do more stuff. So they need to balance that, and that's what they're trying to do. But they also don't want to entirely go, well, if you do want to fly it solo, you can. Obviously, there's NPC crewmen. There might be AI like components that you can actually go, I've made this turret AI. It shoots anything that's green, or whatever. But the Hurricane is going to be a test bed for the manned turret system to help improve it, which is good because we want turret gameplay to be useful in Star Citizen and not crappy like it currently is.
Yeah, like it was super hard for like. Okay, I love the Vanguard, and I love the Vanguard because of the turret gameplay. But then it was super hard to get excited about this ship because it's turret gameplay.
It's another combat ship.
It's another combat ship, and it's another ship that the thing that it's supposed to do either doesn't work or isn't in the game yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So like it's hard for me to get excited about a mining ship coming in. It's hard for me to get excited about the Starfarer until there's fuel refuel and fuel gathering. It's hard for me to get excited about the Reclaimer unless we're actually going to be reclaiming something. Like, wow, just a big exciting ship. Like, dude, you guys are amazing. I love what you're doing. It's so awesome to walk around for the first few days.
Yeah, like the Caterpillar or the
not.
Starfarer, for example, right? You have these large ships that their mechanics aren't in for. That the mechanics aren't in for them yet, right? Like you can't switch out anything on the Caterpillar, let alone even if you could, you wouldn't be able to use any of those things yet. You can't like go and gather fuel or refuel ships with a Starfarer yet.
Exactly, like with the ship like the Reclaimer, and you guys might all hate me. I wouldn't care if they built it and then put it on the shelf until there was something to do with it.
Oh,
yeah.
You're a monster.
I know.
That's what they did. That's what they're doing with the Dragonfly, right? It's like it was ready. It's been ready for a while.
It's been ready. It has to be ready.
Well, they said it's been ready for a long time, but it's like there's no point in bringing it in. Yeah, you could fly it around a space station, but what's the point of bringing it in if you can't fly it on a planet, which is like its main purpose?
Exactly. So like where the Caterpillar, it has multiple purposes. I could see why they maybe gave us that earlier, right? It's just one of those that I'm becoming numb to ships. And I've been saying this for a long time. The game isn't about ships anymore, even though they're still selling the game that way.
Yeah.
So I
like for the first 3 years, it was all about ships.
And
I
people
like the concept shields.
People are
you still like them, Bored? I'm
like
very numb to them.
It doesn't take away anything from the game for me. I mean, so for me, the Hurricane fits a different purpose from the Gladiator. The Gladiator is like
absolutely
light or medium bomber, but and this is something that I'd go, well, in my bomber wing, I might want to have a bomber wing, but also a gunship wing almost. And these are like sort of like these do this massive heavy damage. They fit a role, which I can go, yeah, the heavy fight is done on this way because heavy fight.
These ships in a swarm are going to be scary.
Yeah, this ship fits a role that I'm like interested in too, and I'm just so not excited about the ship.
But so these,
I don't know why,
supported by a load of Gladius, make a real good sense now. Like having those like medium speed dogfighters.
I just it really comes down to like what is Star Citizen for you between like the three of us. Like, I mean, I saw a Reddit post the other day. I was linked to Reddit post yesterday actually. Where
guys, you're scaring him away from Reddit. He already doesn't barely use it.
I hate it, but it was a well-known member of the community too, and I might be calling him out. And to be honest, I really don't give a shit. I should really go back and look at it so I don't make myself sound stupid. But they were discussing like ships in Star Citizen, and he said, "Well, Star Citizen is all about, you know, combat ship versus combat ship," and it's like, for me, I'm looking at Star Citizen. When has it ever been? No, but it has been and always will be, I think, was like the statement. Okay, and it's like, when has Star Citizen ever said that like at release it will be like that? Like that is not the Star Citizen that I'm interested in.
I mean,
that's not the Star Citizen I ever expect to play.
If he said Squadron 42, I'd agree
with
him.
Like, I'm gonna look back at this shit.
Again, it's not just about combat ships either, as far as Squadron 42 either.
Yeah.
It's going to be...
But Squadron 42 is definitely more of the military stuff. But Star Citizen is very much, like, the main thing was, like, exploration and stuff like that. Even this is coming from someone who is looking forward to just basically the combat stuff and wants to, you know, focus mostly on that. That's not what it was. I think the main thing was, like, if you want to do mining, you can do mining. If you want to do exploration, you can do exploration. And those mechanics are just as in depth and just as wide as combat is.
It's very much sort of like I keep on using like a universe simulator, but it's different, slightly different to that because you're very much your character in Star Citizen. You don't become the ship. You're not the ship or anything. One thing, because you can always leave that seat. So it's like a universe spaceman simulator. It's a interesting. I love it so much.
Here we go. I got it. Yeah. So they were talking about fighter stats being changed to accommodate larger ships, like capital size ships, and they said they're not going to completely redo fighter stats to accommodate capital ships. It's the other way around. Fighter versus fighter combat is the core of the game. Is the core of the game. Like, is it the core of the game for everybody, or is it the core of the game for him? It might be the core of the game for you, Saurus, but I don't think it's the core of the game.
I wouldn't say fighter combat is the core, no. I don't think that's what they want it to be. I think it's a large aspect. I think it's a very large aspect.
Absolutely. It is a part of it, but it's not the core of the game. The core of the game is the person. The core of the game is the character and the game mechanics that they choose to do.
Fidelity.
I mean, honestly, that at the moment, that is what they go for first, right? So that they're technically the
reworking. You mean reworking is the core of the game.
Mechanics to the game which are core to it. Ship combat has to be done near perfect, really. The flight mechanics in general need to be there. The times to travel, the distances to travel, how the economy works, how industry works, how mining works, how all of the major combat and non-combat roles work, whether that's mining, cargo transport, all of that needs to be done perfectly and balanced with each other. Otherwise, the game will be shit. I mean, it's kind of...
Yeah.
And they'll be able to do it. That's hard. That's
I mean, how many games have come out and, like, there's going to be some, just with how detailed things are going to be, there's always going to be some slight imbalance some way. So the game is always going to be shit for somebody, I feel like, in some way. Until they've really, it's going to take years, I feel like, for this game to just even out and for them to be like really balance everything. It's going to be really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's always going to be a better way of doing something, unless the missions truly are like incredibly dynamic.
Yeah.
As soon as someone can make a YouTube video on this is the best way to make money, or this is the best loadout, then stuff does become unbalanced. But again, typically that will be on one-on-one dogfights or specific instances. And Star Citizen is very unique in the fact that it goes, well, yeah, you can play Arena Commander, which is that competitive edge where you could do this is the best loadout for Arena Commander video.
Yeah.
But Star Citizen, you have to make choices on what you're doing, why you're doing it, how are you making your Alpha UEC. Yeah, this might be the best loadout for an escort that's escorting this particular thing. This might be the best loadout for a Carrack.
I agree with you, Bored, but the problem with it is, there are 400 people that work at CIG. How many of them are focused on balance? A small percentage of them, right? And there are 1 million of us. So somebody's going to find some imbalance after something's released, because there's no way for there to be checks and balances for every single patch,
but that's
right?
what the Vacati and the PTUs are for, kind of, at this stage. And as you correctly said, I don't think CIG need to put that much resources into finding the balance themselves.
That's what our job is. So it's going to be broken and people are going to be upset. Yes. And then it's going to get fixed.
And that is an understandable process in the development.
For all video games, especially these days. I think it's acceptable, and it's just one of those things that it's how it is and it's how it's always going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And a lot of games don't balance their games again. They don't care. They're money grabs. They take my money like a Valve, and then they fuck off.
And I absolutely don't think that's this game.
They're different games. Star Citizen's different from Evolve.
Yeah.
Is it?
Different names, mate. Different names, mate. How you tell? Oh man, I'm still bitter about Evolve. Still bitter.
Why?
It didn't sort.
It had potential.
Properly. It had potential. It
had potential.
It was fun, and then they didn't sort matchmaking out. There was loads of problems with little bugs everywhere. People could jump in and out of the game. The game didn't start with full teams. There was just loads of problems, and they never fixed them. And then they made the game free to play.
Soros, why did you ask him that question? Now he's getting angry.
Right.
The secret is I'm always angry.
Me
I'm
too.
like an egg. I'm like the Hulk, but with an egg head. What?
Nothing. I'm just writing things really quickly. Let's move on to the next thing before Bored hard boils here. Customization.
This is exciting.
This was the main chunk of ATV. This was with Paul Reindell, Sean Tracy, and Josh Herman. Mm-hmm. Sean Tracy mentions at the beginning of this that this is going to come with the next big release. So my whole thing was, I don't care if planets are in. I don't care if the network stuff is in. If this is in 3.0, it is hereon known as the Barbie patch. Anything that comes with this customization is going to be the Barbie patch to me. Because it looks like...
I'm confused.
It's just because you will be able to change everything. And you'll be able to customize your character. And I feel like I'm going to spend... like a lot of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah, the Barbie
Did your
patch.
mum never buy you Barbie dolls when you were younger? Oh, my mum used to buy me... Oh, yeah, whatever, mate.
They're
Barbie
right in this closet right here, I bet.
Okay, prove it.
Prove it.
Again.
I bet. I don't know if my parents...
Let me go get my Barbie dolls.
Wait, Bart. Can we just reflect for a minute that we just convinced Twerk to show his Barbie doll collection on stream?
I don't know why.
We reverse psychologied him into...
everything's different now.
looking for his Barbies to prove us wrong.
Mom,
They're in the attic somewhere.
Where are my Barbie dolls, Mom?
Mom!
Oh, you know, I was taking the piss, Twerk, and you just like
yeah.
the more appropriately manly toy.
Maybe because I wanted to find my GI Joes to bring them home.
Oh shit, that's noble.
Dude, I had this WWF wrestling ring, and I would play with.
Oh,
my GI
dude,
Joes.
I had a whole
wrestle
bunch
each other.
Wrestling guys. I had more Transformers than I knew what to do with. I had a whole Tupperware, like one of those big Rubbermaid Tupperware things, full of Transformers and those rubber wrestling characters.
I got a Tamagotchi.
Right where I'm sitting.
I got a Tamagotchi when I was younger, and I couldn't deal with the stress and pressure of it. Having to look after.
Wow, how old are you, Bored? You're younger than me.
I'm
32. Okay, not much younger.
Yes, I'm younger than someone.
Tamagotchi was like past my time. I felt like I was like too old for Tamagotchi. That was like more my brothers.
I'm down with the kids, mate. That's what it is.
All right.
I'm just like, I'm hip, I'm cool.
Pedo bear. It's okay.
I listen to Double Misstep and Hippity Hop. I'm down with the kids. I know what's going on.
He's in touch. He's in touch with the youth culture of today. You heard it here, guys.
I can do the that's what these kids do nowadays, isn't it? You're all online doing prank videos and doing the dab. Good job, guys. I can do that. I'm young. 32 this month.
I'm bottle flipping right now.
Yeah, bottle flipping.
I was so 2000 on late to work. I'm going to do some cup stacking in 1 second.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You fucking guys. So yeah, so this is going to come with the next big release. Customization of not only armor, not only clothing, not only weapons, but faces and other things as well. So
you guys saw like the GDC thing, right? Did you talk about that on the last
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about that.
Combining with this?
Yeah. We're going to touch on that here in a little bit. We talked about the GDC stuff before, but with this, it uses a similar system to the ship customization that's in the game currently, using the different hard points and things like that. And I actually, I have a video here that shows that. What were you saying, Board?
It's items and ports. It's item system 2.0.
Yeah.
It's the stuff actually coming online.
But the actual interface is very, very similar to the ship. So what we're seeing now is the ship customization, which is what we have in the game now. And the menu, even when they go into the character thing, it still says Arena Commander ship customization at the top.
It's a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
Reuse assets, please. Anything
to
make
definitely.
things faster, like
Definitely.
there's no point in
There's no reason, there's no reason to, but the hair on the black guy reminds me of when Dave Chappelle was playing the white dude.
I was calling him Black Elvis because they chose the weirdest haircut.
Black Elvis, yeah. It was like, it's so weird. But seeing all the different clothes and all the different clothes options, and something they didn't really talk about a whole lot was the weapon customization on there. And I thought that was pretty cool.
We saw the rail system, didn't we?
I love that they have like jeans and you just slap a gun on your jeans and then like
throw a shirt and a jacket, and then you can throw your Under Armour on top. And
it's what they've been telling us, but we've never seen it until now.
Exactly. So it's using predefined hardpoints. So basically what happens is those jeans, for example, have maybe a strap or something that you can put there. But if you're wearing the shorts, you can't have that there. So depending on what those are, it adds or removes hardpoints according to what those things can support. And it goes from the skeleton to the body to the clothing ports to the item ports, and then armor port is separate. And then has additional ports on top of that depending on what the armor type is. And then I have the armor and weapon customization video here showing the armor plates, legs, helmets, under armor, all of that stuff. And this was cool. I wasn't expecting so much modularity with the chest pieces and stuff.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
I thought it was just going to swap out the whole chest piece for something, not have like an Under Armour.
They kind of mentioned this previously, but I think all of us misunderstood because we just assumed this wasn't it. They did say how modular it was going to be, but we were like, nah, it'll be modular, but not this modular. This is awesome. This is the sort of customization that I want in my game. Like,
yeah,
I want meaningful choices.
Now, here's the issue. Is Star Marine.
What?
How the fuck do you customize like this when there's two teams and you're pulling the armor from either team? So
No. So you'd have two team loadouts. So you'd still have Outlaws and Marines as a loadout separately.
So the other thing is you may be limited to your armor color.
That's where I was going to go. Like, can this system come in until there's color customization?
I suspect, well, what I'd like to see is a point system where you can allocate what items your character has based on the points.
That's exactly what I talked about. I mentioned that to both Sean, to Sean and Matt, and basically any staff who's come in, and I said, hey, why, like, you could do like a points-based thing, and it's based on the weapons. It's based on your entire loadout, and not just for Star Marine, but for Arena Commander as well. Now that it's becoming like, how do you control? It's a Vanguard versus a Gladius. Like, if you have a point system, yeah, maybe you can bring in a Vanguard, but it can only equip 2 weapons. Where a Gladius can, I guess it has 3, but because it's smaller, it's worth less points, and the weapons are worth less points or whatever. And they thought the idea was cool, but they said it's kind of hard to implement this early. If they're
at this point,
that Ideasaurus, however, is a great idea for tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Privately run.
Absolutely.
That's a great way of doing a lot of that stuff. You go, well, your team has a set amount of points to spend on ships, stuff like that. All I worry about with Star Marine is, well, not worry about. I want Star Marine to have enough equipment and components that it isn't just a grenade spam. Everything you do has a meaningful choice. There are lots of different choices, and edge case like exploitation with like, well, I've just found out I can have 32 grenades if I do this on this light armor, and I can wear grenades, and grenades don't take damage when I get shot, so I can run up to things and not die, stuff like that. That's the sort of edge cases that I want to with a point system. But as long as they balance it, ish.
But going back to what Twerk was talking about with the color customization of the armor, that's something I'd really like to see, right? Like right now, you're looking at them change things. There's a yellow chest plate. There's the black and red legs. Yeah. It would be nice if you didn't look so Harlequin, right? So like the different plates are like, and you could color coordinate everything. And that's
not the intention of this video either. The intention of this video is to show that, hey, the tech works.
Yeah.
These are the 2 armors that we currently have. Here you go. Check it out. It's awesome, right? And yes, absolutely. I don't want to take away from that because it is awesome. I do not want to take away from that.
Me neither.
It can't be implemented into the game until, in my opinion, until you can color customize.
But I think that the color customization is going to be very easy.
Yeah, should be. It should already be in the engine, right?
Yeah, because that's something that they want to work on for the ships.
Exactly.
And so this is the first time we're going to see this modular armor stuff. So you would think that it would be coming in with that.
I think we can rest assured that anything to do with Star Citizen will be the prettiest, if not one of the prettiest games ever. So anything like that will just be like, it will look amazing. I mean, there's never been a worry about something looking amazing in Star Citizen.
No. Just how many frames you can see that.
It's a still picture. Yes, I'm playing Star Citizen.
Still picture?
Yeah.
Can't beat it. Can't beat it.
Oh, shit.
So the weapon customization is like I said earlier, it's something that they didn't really talk about a lot, but it looks like this is where you'll be customizing your weapons. It's not its own. I thought in my head the weapon stuff was going to be separate, its own thing, where you select the weapon and then it's a blown out view of all the parts that go on it, and then you change those that way, not through the character customization. But it looks like it works this way, and so why make a whole new system or a whole new screen for the weapons if you can just tie it into the same screen?
Yeah.
Josh talked about seams being an issue in most games. So where the sleeves or the pants meet, they have to do that, and you can see that on the collarbones in the character, but there's also he shows some of the concept art and was showing on how they were using that. And instead of having, like, say your gloves or your boots end at that seam, they overlap those seams. And then so that way it allows more variety on, like, you can have a shirt that ends at your elbow, or a shirt halfway up that's rolled up halfway through to your forearm, or a t-shirt, or a tank top, or whatever, and it still is going to look good without having to create a whole bunch of different weird seams and stuff that, like, all t-shirts all look exactly the same or whatever.
Yeah, one of the things he explained on that was, like, if you put long boots, like, this clothing is meant to be one with long boots, but if you put this same clothing on something with short boots, you'd see skin here, and that would be wrong. So we're going to make it so that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that they show looks cool sometimes, but I just think, well, I wouldn't have paid that any attention other than I don't want to see skin there.
Yeah,
like,
so I'm not going to wear that.
Yeah.
I'm not an artist, so I just look at stuff and go, oh yeah, you should fix that. Rather
But
than,
it just allows for more variety, other than like, all shirts are either t-shirts or long sleeve, and you can tell that they're the same sort of, they'll end at the same area, they're just different colors, you know?
Yeah.
So this is just, it just adds more variety to the characters, both the NPCs and the players.
I want to be seeing that damage state though. I want to be shooting someone that's wearing a leather jacket. I want to see it burn through their leather jacket. I want to see it burn through their clothing. And I want it to be different for bullets, and I want it to be different from lasers. Oh, damage states.
I feel like that's how it would be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they would do the same exact thing they do with ships, where you see into the interior.
Yeah,
would be my guess.
The humans and the clothing would be gubbins, effectively.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know how much detail on, like, evisceration we'll get with people. Will they just have a bullet hole, which would be a red patch, or will we see? Yeah, we've really wrecked this guy. He's got a hole in his chest.
The next video I have here is where he's walking down the hallway and he's changing his clothes, and then they change the armors, and oh my god, that's Sand Nomad. So good.
It looks better than the 3.0 demo.
There's something about the way the cloth moves.
The cloth moves.
It gives me the uncanny valley feeling about the cloth.
For me, it's the Heavy Outlaw.
Okay, yeah.
And the
I get what you're saying.
Stuff.
It's like the cloth moves too slowly.
And then wibbly at the ends. Like, I can't describe it properly. I don't study the movement of cloth as a thing, so that might be the way it moves, and I might be mesmerized when looking at cloth.
I think it just looks cool.
It does look
cool,
it
looks,
though, yes.
It looks kind of like, when you see him on the grid, it looks better. I wouldn't say better, but looks less cinematic than when they're showing the armors changing. When the armors are changing, it looks like it's slowed down a little bit.
It looks normal to me. It looks like it's like catching wind. It looks like a little.
It looks so cool, though. It looks so cool.
I love the Heavy Outlaw. It looks like Torian from Mass Effect.
Also,
Heavy Outlaw is the best armor they've ever made.
Speaking of armors, I wasn't expecting to see in this. How about that Explorer suits? And you also see the Heavy Outlaw armor in this when they're switching through the armor as white, as part of the Explorer. Yeah.
Are you sure?
The last one, yeah.
He's sure.
The chest.
He's sure.
I challenge you.
That one right there.
Let me see.
The second to last one. Yeah, it's the chest piece, and it's white. So if you look at the heavy armor right before that, the green one, look at how the chest is shaped, and then look at how the chest is shaped.
It's the Heavy Marine.
Yeah, it's a Heavy Marine.
Oh, you said Outlaw. Okay.
Oh, I meant the Explorer. The Heavy Marine on the Explorer
is the same.
But on the Explorer, it's white.
Exactly. So, colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks so cool.
The Heavy Outlaw with the big ass neck
coverage. It reminds me of the thing from Mass Effect.
Yeah, Turian.
Oh, is that what they're called? Okay.
The alien Turians. They have that big.
The big head. Kind of.
No, because you're probably thinking of Krogans.
Krogan have the big head and the sunken armor,
Yeah,
sunken
it kind of
up.
looks like sunken almost.
Taurians have the big thing at the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of,
Yeah.
Either way,
it
fucking
looks
awesome.
really cool. And just this whole segment was really awesome.
Mhm.
And then
ATV was, jeez.
And then moving forward, and Twerk brought this up earlier, was the facial tech stuff. Now, we did see that from GDC,
Yeah.
but that was done on the Unreal Engine. This is theirs, done in
Which is
Lumberyard.
the same, but looks better a little bit.
Yeah, it looks a little better. So,
So
the other
it's
one was
exactly
still
how they
using
described it.
Star Citizen assets.
Yeah.
This one's also obviously using Star Citizen assets, but is in the proper engine.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is exactly how they described it, how you'd be merging between different faces. And so as they build up more and more faces, they have more to add to this library to switch in and customize. So what's cool about this is, at first I didn't really understand what it meant, but this basically means that you have a lot of customization without making things look ridiculous,
Yeah.
right? Because
it tries to make
everything's...
stuff look.
You're meshing between two different
Technically
kinds of
correct.
ears, and if you want to get in the middle of a big ear and a small ear to get a
You
medium
can.
ear.
The system also tries to work out what would be correct on a human,
Mhm.
and then draw points for muscles and joints.
Yeah.
So if you move your nose or whatever, it might move your chin slightly, and then move the joints around your jaw.
So
you don't
all
get
of the animations all work properly with all of
Yeah.
them, no matter how, like, so the fidelity of animations is as high with any character, including custom ones.
Yeah.
Now, I don't
So
think
in-
this is the UI that we're gonna get. I think this is the UI that they use right now for their internal.
I don't think it'd be too far off.
But
though, from
it may
this.
not be far off. But I
I think the functionality will be similar, but I think it will look a lot better, and there'll be a lot more to it. I think this was a very simple.
It'll look futuristic.
Yeah, but it's like this is three lateral showing it off for the first time.
Yeah.
That basically what was happening there. That system was shown for, and
Yeah.
it's going to look amazing when it's done. They're gonna reskin that. There's going to be loads more options. There's going to be lots going on there, and I didn't understand what they meant by Frankenstein faces before, but now I understand. They go, well, there's these two noses. You can have, or there's 8 noses, in fact.
Mhm.
in
See,
that
I knew what they
animation.
meant, but I didn't think it would work. And now you see it in practice, and it's like, okay, I get it.
I didn't realize there'd be the merging between each of the noses so much.
That's exactly what I
This
thought.
is- oh man, you have
Yeah.
some foresight, Twerk.
No, it wasn't foresight. It's exactly what they said.
Oh,
That's exactly what they said. You would take this eye and that eye, and you would move a slider and get somewhere in between them to create a different eye. And it just, I still didn't comprehend how it would work. You know,
it looks in this very early stage. Their character base 3 lateral is fantastic. I mean, I think they're going to be because that's rendered in the Unreal Engine, that actual 3 lateral thing they showed.
Mhm.
yeah.
But it's doesn't matter what it is because it's middleware. It's a middleware solutions.
Hmm.
But yeah, I was so impressive. So impressive.
Yes.
It's very, yeah,
Absolutely.
it's very cool to see them work on that. Once again, guys, if anybody has any questions, !1 question in chat, and we'll get to those. And we are going to jump over into questions now. So let me just pull this up here. And our first one is from Sir Pantsless. Do you guys think we would eventually see beam weapons on larger ships? And if so, how would you guys have them feel and sound? And would there be any drawback to using a beam weapon instead of a traditional weapon?
Probably overheating quicker would be the drawback.
The closest thing we have to a beam weapon at the moment is the mining laser on the Orion.
Yeah. Now, they said previously, obviously everything is up for change, they said that they don't want to do beam weapons. So I don't even know if we'll ever get them.
I
And
think
I've
we might
sort of...
in the future at some point. I think because
Yeah.
of the scope of Star Citizen after release, I literally think they will eventually go through anything that's cool as an update.
Yeah.
They'll have beam weapons because why not?
Yeah. But it's something that they had specifically said no to before. No, they've said no to a bunch of other things before, and then they ended up coming in. But So it's not really something I've thought about, and it isn't something that's like, oh, because they're going definitely with more of like a Star Wars feel, right? With the laser blasters and like actual ballistic rounds. So I've just sort of been like, okay, so how can they make variations on those and how many different types of variations on those can they make to make them feel unique and give you a lot of options for that.
Yeah. I really want to see beam lasers though. It just makes sense.
We a lot of us have like grown up with those kind of games where like they're just traditional. It's tradition to have a beam weapon.
No, I hear you. And that's more of like the Star Trek style weapon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like free space, and lots of games have beam weapons where you're just like.
Yeah, I mean, Elite has them as well. I like Elite's implementation of them.
It's Homeworld, Eve, and that sort of stuff that does it for me.
Right.
Beam weapons, I think.
And then the second question here from Sir Pantsless says, do you think that races warships should focus on different types of weapons like we see in Eve? For example,
different races warships?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for example, Banu focuses on lasers, humans on projectile-based weapons, Tavaran on missiles, and so on. He says, sorry for the many and long questions. It's all good, man. Keep up the good work, and the podcast really means a lot to me. Well, I appreciate it.
I don't think so, but what I would like to see is different alien technologies doing different things.
Yeah.
So like sort of what he's saying, but like, not exactly.
Like the Xi'an, for example, have like different thruster technologies, or maybe another one has a weird shield tech. The Vanduul have their weapons,
have
right?
Weird shield tech.
Yeah, and the Vanduul have their own weapon things with that melting plasma.
So I desperately want to see alien manufacturers, not just one, which is like Xi'an manufacturer. I want to see multiple alien manufacturers from each of them, so that you don't get a situation where all Xi'an use just energy weapons.
I don't want to see that. Because it's too easy to combat, right?
Yeah,
because then exactly. Okay, I'm going against a Xi'an. I put up shields that are good against lasers.
I'm in Xi'an space. I go for this meta build. I want to, because the Xi'an are a military. They're a smart alien race. They're not going to be defeated by one guy on Reddit. That's right. That's the idea. I want to see them slightly adaptable and not a single way to play. I don't mind seeing regular configurations and styles from them, like Xi'an ships. Yeah, they're all about the lateral thrust or whatever. But I want to see more variety.
Oh, so Matt Sherman talked going back to the beam weapons, and I like what he said. He says, from a design perspective, beam weapons look cool, which is, I think, why we want them. But on anything smaller than a cap ship primary gun, they feel too cheesy since they mostly have to be set up as hit scan weapons versus real travel time, which is how every other weapon is set up in Star Citizen.
Nate,
so it kind of breaks the balance, right?
Give me hit scan weapons in Star Citizen. I will, just me though.
Exactly. I think it would fuck up the whole balance, right? So I can see why maybe we wouldn't get them then.
You'd have them for capital ships or something like that. You wouldn't have them on dogfighters that would just wreck everyone.
Yeah, and they also don't have like soft body deform, so you can't slice off a certain part of the ship. So the novelty of beam slicing a ship apart wouldn't really be possible. So, all right.
Time to add that soft body deform tech.
Yeah. Don't add it to
your damage tech.
Fucking ideas.
But yeah, like containing that to capital ships, or maybe an unusable alien tech, right, where aliens could use it or something, would be kind of neat.
Yeah, and it would just like it would maybe still act like a laser or act like a ballistic, but it would look a little different. Maybe have different, a different damage type or so. I don't know, but it wouldn't be. I wouldn't want to see it be one person use one thing and one use a different, because like me and Bored both said, you would just use a different meta build when you went there. And that doesn't seem detailed enough for Star Citizen.
Yeah, and you see that in pretty much every other game where you go, I'm fighting this alien race. I'm going to change to ballistics and this shield. Now I do. And
But
that's
dude,
the only way to
BorisCon
fight.
in chat just made a sick point about
Mhm.
beam weapons. Have them not hit really hard, but build on damage over time for beam lasers.
Or just drain power or something.
Yeah.
Have
They
something
can be
where it
hit scan,
doesn't
but they
do
don't
any
do damage.
Yeah, they don't do damage. They just drain power. Or...
I'd like to see weapons like
Come
that.
on, Matt. Make it happen.
We know that
Make it happen.
You're the power behind the throne, Matt. We know that. We know. Make it happen.
Our next question comes from the One Sovereign. He says, when landing on planets, how close do you guys think we should be able to quantum jump to the surface before having to fly the rest of the way manually? AKA, how long should it take to get to the surface?
That was a big thing that they, were concerned about, especially before the Gamescom and Citizen, is how do we make this enjoyable?
Yeah.
But also meaningful.
Well, like in the demos, previously they showed people flying to a low orbit satellite and then flying from that in, right? Like quantum, are they quantuming from that to another point and then flying in? I think that if they brought those low orbit satellites in a little bit closer and then had it so you could quantum to that, but then you have to fly through and fly into the atmosphere manually instead of quantuming through, would be a good balance for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're gonna see soon enough. I mean, whenever we get this future patch.
Don't we think
it took them about 5 minutes to land on the Gamescom demo.
In Gamescom, I thought that was okay. That was an okay time. But I suppose that might get annoying and boring if you did it constantly.
Yeah, perhaps.
Maybe. But I suppose.
But that's something they can sort of feel out, right?
Yeah.
And see if, because I mean, how often are you going to be transferring, leaving and going into planet atmosphere? Like quickly,
Yeah.
Like I feel like if you're landing on a planet, you have a reason to be there, and you have things to do there, and that it's not like land there for a second and then leave right away right after, and then it's like, oh, most of my time is spent transferring. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
and 5 minutes is
I think
3 to 5 minutes.
good.
I think is appropriate.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it feels good. We'll see though.
This is gotta feel real too.
Yeah, it's got to feel like you're actually doing something, and that. So the traveling in space, it's important that there could be distress signals. There could be pirates that pull you out. There could be lots of other things that go on that make that travel meaningful, and that other things will happen. That it's just not bam bam, I'm there. Continue, I've made money. That the landing onto planets is a little bit different because it could be boring for some people that just know what they want to do. They're flying back onto a populated planet, so it's a hard thing to balance if you're doing it repetitively. But as you said, we don't know how often you'll be doing it.
Yeah. Our next question's from Space Star Rock. He says, do you think we'll be able to play as conmen in the verse? Like trick people into buying something or scamming players thinking they will get something, but then you kill them in the end and take it and the money or whatever. Would this be accepted? Would this be accepted as gameplay without getting reported? Yeah. There'll be systems in place. Like you may be able to do that on some random moon that doesn't have any security, but you wouldn't be able to necessarily do that in a populated city.
But you're going to get, say, some people are going to get reported for bullshit reasons.
Yeah.
That happens in games anyway. You might get reported by someone that's being salty. That won't happen. Okay, that just happens. Everyone can be tolerant of it though. Like, okay, it's happened. We got banned from that Rust server I was on the other day because we shot someone in the face and he said we were cheating. Oh, what? You can't argue with a bullet in the face. Apparently you can, and got us banned for 24 hours.
Confirm Board's a cheater.
Oh, fuck.
It's probably a server admin that was just like abusing his power.
No. He was talking to the server admin.
Yeah, his friends with him or whatever.
The server admin acted appropriately as well. He banned us immediately from the accusation, and then investigated it and went, "You have not been hacking."
Yeah. Okay.
But you need to be careful on servers to make sure that if people are reported for something like that, on like Rust, that you can destroy a server very quickly. So you go, right, I'm going to handle it. And if someone obviously did it repeatedly, they would get banned. Be like, you reported someone for hacking and said you had proof and you didn't. You're a dick. That would be the reason.
Yeah, Thriftbot has turned into Aimbot. Oh!
Oh, shit!
And
All right. Next question is from Yoko Rose for myself and Twerk. Not Boredgamer.
fuck
Fuck you
board.
guys.
What are you guys looking forward to seeing at PAX? Each
Oh, that's
other?
why.
Each other?
Each other naked.
No, but
What?
every single convention that we've been to together, we have pictures of us in the same
A
bed.
spooning.
Spooning. That's like our tradition.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And I mean, our hotel only has one king size bed, so that's how it's going down.
it's gonna have to go down.
But
I didn't know that. Now I'm a little scared.
no, we have an extra bed.
Why can't I
Okay.
come to PAX? I want to share a king bed.
You want to come to PAX? Oh, dude, we'll do a podcast from the bed. We'll call
that'd
it
be awesome.
We'll redacted hangover
Call it-
edition.
We call it room service. And we just order loads of room service while 3 men in the bed, and we get the maids to come in, and they can deliver our food, and we can. all
Dude,
be
that
in
would be
our pants in the
amazing.
bed.
And we could judge it, and we could be like, this room service hamburger. You know, it's a little salty.
That would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, like pose. Oh my god.
But Twerk, what are you looking forward to seeing at PAX?
Okay, so I've never been able to try VR, and I've been to conventions now. That is it. I need to try it, so I have some sort of an idea if I like it or not.
You've
I
also
think-
never had a donaire before, right?
I have no idea what a donaire is.
Yeah. Okay. This is in my mind. This is in my brain to take you to get donaires. Twerk's
Okay,
worried
what
because
is
he
a
doesn't like
donaire?
lamb. It's like a euro or a gyro, depending on how.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try everything once.
Yeah.
But I usually don't
It's-
like a lot of things.
Yeah, Twerk doesn't like lamb, but I'm trying to convince him that it's not like lamb. Like you can
It
get
doesn't
lamb
taste-
version.
it's
It's
seasoned
not.
enough?
Yeah, it's not. It's not the same. That's like saying I don't like pork chops, and then be like, "Yo, try the sausage." Like it's completely
Okay.
different.
Okay.
For me, I'm looking forward to seeing all my friends that I've made from all the conventions. So all the different streamers that I've met and hung out with and talked to, the seeing people like Twerk again and hanging like, we
it's
try
donor?
to.
Okay.
There's two different ways of spelling it. That's the European way of spelling it.
We had that in Germany.
North American is
Don't like
DONAIR.
kebabs.
Yeah, same idea.
We had it in Germany, so I have had
Okay.
it. It's good.
Yeah, there's an East Coast style of it though.
Gotcha.
That's
East
different.
Coast.
Yeah. That has like a sweet sauce and stuff in it. It's really good.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing people. So all of the streamers that I've connected with before and on Twitch and in real life, seeing them again, hanging out with Twerk and doing that. And then this is going to be the first time, like I've tried the IRL stream stuff at the Twitch meetup, but that was like last second implementation. I'm going in full Terminator this time, and so I'm really excited to be doing that. And so we'll be streaming PAX like on the floor if
Yeah.
all goes well, as long as
Along with 6,000 other streamers.
maybe
It's gonna be funny. People are gonna be going up to each other with cameras and shit.
yeah, and be like, yeah. So it'll be interesting. If you've seen my Twitter, you'll see that I have like a whole. Actually, let me see if I can
Robot
find.
suit.
Yeah, I'll show you guys a photo.
It's the Explorer suit,
It kind of
right?
looks like the Explorer suit. Where I have a photo of it here somewhere. Here it is. Here. Bring this up on the main screen. There it is. There, so you can see on my right hand side the GoPro and the gimbal attached to the right strap, and on the left strap I have a mount with a selfie stick that goes out about, I'd say about a foot, and then holds my camera. And what you can't see because my camera obscures it is there's a fishing line that goes across, and it looks like a suspension bridge kind of deal. I'm holding it to the back of my backpack. So with the phone camera, it has my face cam that goes in the corner, and then in the background is, or like where the game would be, is the GoPro video, and that's on super wide view, and so it's like 140 degrees or something like that, like crazy fisheye. So you're gonna see all kinds of stuff. It's gonna be really awesome. Yeah, I'm like a human Wally.
It should be really fun.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And we're gonna be hanging out with cool people, and just doing cool shit.
Cooler than you
we're
and Twerk.
Cool people, and we do
like Tyler
cool shit.
and Lando are gonna be there. I don't know if the new Tyler will, or not. I know Tyler Wicken and Bisco Lando are gonna be there, so I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, I don't really have anything else planned. I just, for the first time, I'll be going to a convention. Just like, I'm like PAX South, I wasn't really comfortable, and this one I'll just like go, and I want to be a fan. I just kind of want to go and do stuff.
Yeah.
I also, by the way, I don't even know if I told you this, Source, but I deal to like one of the LOOTCRATE community managers, or like somebody that works at LOOTCRATE. Her grandma and grandpa every day. Yeah. So I think she's gonna be there. So I want to go see her and say, "What's up? Your grandma and grandpa are cool as fuck," and then walk away. And that's really it.
Drop their names too, just so you can like, just so Fred, it's not like random.
Fred and Beverly.
That's gonna be so creepy, dude.
Fred and Beverly. Wow.
Fred and Beverly said, "What's up?"
Yeah. Grandma and Grandpapa said.
Fred and Beverly said.
Yeah. Just go up.
What's up?
And then just give her like a creepy wink and a sly smile, and then walk away. Just creep her right the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what you should do to women. Good job.
Yeah.
I'm no expert though, so you know.
Yeah.
Covent Garden Market, or Martin, sorry, I'm used to the Monopoly thing. Have you gotten a good response from having Noob Fire fill in for Twerk the last couple of weeks? Yes. People, people like.
I've only had like 2 people say they miss me, so.
If so, I'd like to see, and I'm interested in hearing if you would do redacted podcasts with 4+ people sometime in the future.
No, never. I don't think so, at least.
No, I think
Would you?
It gets difficult when you start adding more people.
Yeah.
We might do a special like redacted round table as a special.
Yeah, like we could.
Redacted.
Yeah, we could do something like that.
It would be separate from the main podcast thing.
Yeah, it's. I think the dynamic with 3 people is perfect. It's not too little. It's not too much.
Yeah, like, and us 3 tend to have different opinions. So the conversation can be quite good.
Like, shut up. Oh, wait a second. That's
Shut up, Bored.
You guys stop fighting, or I'll pull this car around so fast.
You're in a car. You're car streaming.
Right, we're in a spaceship. Loser.
Loser. Fucking Canadians.
Spaceship, mate. Deal with that.
Yeah. Our next question is from Skywing. Do you guys have any insight on the Star Citizen HOTAS? Is it still being developed?
Nope.
No.
Don't know anything.
We don't.
So, well, we do know some stuff.
Bored knows some stuff.
The latest we've heard is that obviously Logitech bought out SciTech, and that they will have to rejig their deal with Logitech, and we don't know whether they're going to stay with Logitech or move on to somewhere else. So it's effectively needs to be redrawn up. Mm-hmm. They need to redecide what they're going to do with it. So it's going to take some time. That's the last thing I've heard on it.
Covent Garden Martin asked Twerk17.
What's up?
Are you burning out on Star Citizen content creation?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think everybody is. If you're saying that you're not, you're either really new to it or you're lying. I've had devs come in the chat and like I explained them to this exactly. Is the thing that I love about Star Citizen is, like, we all know and the devs know that the game that we're currently playing is not the game. It is definitely just an alpha test bed of some features that they have and stuff like that. That is totally fine. But the thing that I love the most about streaming Star Citizen is talking about what's coming and speculating about those things. And when
things like this podcast.
Yes, but the thing is 99% of the time lately, most of the stuff is wait till 3.0. We know it's coming in 3.0. Well, this is coming in 3.0. And they've been kind of laying it out for us. So because it's been taking so long, they've laid out the information already, so there's not even the ability to like have a conversation about the game, and that's what my stream's all about. It's literally just having a conversation. The game has always been secondary. So like devs that come in the chat, like Luke Presley, and been like, man, I haven't seen you in a while, like what's going on? And I'm like, I'm not really playing Star Citizen because of these reasons. And he's like,
it's good that you point that out, because there's a lot of things. Like I just fly around Yellow or just mindlessly play Star Marine, but the main thing is, talking about stuff and doing whatever. And it's like,
and when you kind of know it's coming, there's no conversation to be had.
I don't have the same problems as you do with Star Citizen, because for streamers, you have to play it for a set amount of time.
Yeah, like your video's 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah, so I will be I will have glorious purpose when I play Star Citizen. It will either be because I fancy killing some people, or because I need footage for a specific reason, and then I can stop playing when I'm done.
Right.
For you, it is much more of a, I'm playing this for 5 hours now, and you've done everything 12 times at least.
Yeah, like I've definitely even been dabbling in like some of the IRL stuff, and just being able to talk about, like, this is why I've liked building the IRL streaming rig. This is why I've really enjoyed building the overlays for the stream house and getting the stream house stuff, because I can sit here and work on it and talk about it at the same time, and there's a lot for me to still talk about. Where with Star Citizen, it's not like we're getting a lot of new people in that are asking questions. Like I've had a couple new people this last week.
I don't even get that anymore.
And so when new people come in, I get excited. It's like, okay, now there's a reason for me to go into the persistent universe, because they've never seen any of this. It's like I can show them some missions, I can show them the transferring, how everything's all seamless and everything. And I get really excited for new people to show them stuff. But if there's nobody new in the channel, it's like, okay, well, we've already had this sort of discussion, you know, and
1,000 times. So it's
not like it's for a new person. It's just, it's the same sort of thing.
And this kind of transitions to a little bit of and I want to do this as quickly as possible, but I kind of explain that, we're all frustrated, man. Like, and the reason that we're kind of frustrated is some of the things like dates that Chris gave on CitizenCon and things like that. And people started to get slightly frustrated, like this was supposed to be done by this date and it's not. And these were all things that we're really excited about, and it came down to like, well, you can't tell Chris not to say dates, and you can't tell Chris not to do certain things, because the reason Star Citizen is so amazing and is going to be so amazing and has so much potential is because of Chris's just
ambition for those things,
ambition and extreme optimism that he can get it done. And we wouldn't be where we were if it wasn't for that. And you can't take that shit away from Chris, because then if you take that away, then you take away Star Citizen altogether. You might as well just not be excited about the game at all, because it won't be, it won't reach the potentially.
I think the idea though is that the reason people get frustrated is because of misplaced hype. Hype is fine as long as you deliver on that hype within the period of time you've suggested. CIG are terrible for timescales, although they have got significantly better.
And I don't think CIG is. And I hate to call Chris out. It's Chris. It's Chris, and it's not Chris that's terrible. It's that Chris is insanely optimistic and is a dreamer, right? And I think it all comes down to Chris being a dreamer is why we love the game, but it's also why we're super frustrated, right? And I think it's fair, and I hope that, like, if I doubt he'll ever hear this, but if he ever did, that he wouldn't like be mad that I'm saying it the way that I'm saying it, because I think it's a positive. I don't think it's a negative. It has negatives to it, but overall it is a overwhelming positive, you know?
Oh god, yeah. Everyone's got bad points, and Chris is that he gives the worst timescales ever.
It's true. I mean, he's just very optimistic, you know. And I think when he says those things, sometimes like the devs just might be like, oh my god, did you just say 2016?
Star Marine did come out before March, so
it's true. It's true.
Lol.
Yeah.
Lol.
Somewhere at some date, 3.0 will be 2 weeks away.
That's true as well. And will have come out before March.
Yeah.
Unless it's in March.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't think we're getting a release this month. We're all right.
Yeah. LZ Rido says, "Greetings. Do you think that that is it? Just greetings. Do you think that quantum travel speed will be the same for all ships, or will it depend on ship mass, type, and installed components? Which system should offer the most balanced and exciting gameplay in game?" I think
Quantum
that
travel, I think, will be the same.
yeah, and I think that if there was any variation, because it's so fast, you wouldn't notice it anyways.
Fuel efficiency would be the variations.
Yeah. But because quantum speed is 0.2 C, or 0.2% of light speed, it's so fast that it's just like any variations to that, you wouldn't notice it anyways, because it's just so fast.
I thought there might be variation. I vaguely remember reading that some of the ships could go at like 0.4 something.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either. I remember everything's at 0.2
It could be a thing. But
Could
as far
be.
as I know, it would be 0.2 C.
Yeah.
It's always been like, will it have a quantum?
And there's
travel
no
drive?
real
Yes.
reason. There's no real reason to change that, to be honest. I mean, it's either has quantum or it doesn't.
Yeah, like it can be fuel efficiency, ability to
Right.
be taken out of quantum. Those are the things that would vary, I think.
Yeah, but the travel time between things shouldn't matter.
Should be similar.
Which
probably.
system would offer the most? Yeah. So that would, I guess, that would offer the most balanced way. Is the way that we're doing it. And
Billy
then he
McGuff
says,
said he remembered things being slow, potentially being slower than
Yes.
0.2 C. That is okay. So a max of it, okay, makes sense.
and then he goes on to say, "Love the podcast."
Love you too, man.
Our next question's from Winnier, and he says, "Will you guys get Detox on the podcast with you at any time?" And we kind of answered this earlier.
We've had him on before.
We've had him
What
on
does he
before.
want?
But if we do some sort of like redacted roundtable or something like that, that would be cool. But as for, or if somebody can't make it, I reach out to the whole team, and whoever responds first is basically, it depends on if
So
people are
Noobify
free
will always be on.
or
Noobify is so quick at that. Like,
Yeah.
Bam.
Yep.
He's already sent me a message. Pick me.
Yeah. There he goes. Yeah. He's like, he's sending me a message. Is Twerk gonna be around next week? Yeah, he's on there. He gets there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I reach out to the guys on the team, and whoever responds, if like say for example, Noobify and Detox are spawning the same day, switch it up a little bit. But yeah, that's sort of how we do it. But it would be cool to do something like, and that's something me, Twerk, and Board will have to sit down and try and figure out, like a roundtable sort of discussion and how that would work. Because even now it's like, make sure when you get like 8 people in here, right? Even if we could make sure everybody's on that same sort of schedule to all be on at the same time, it becomes a little bit of a nightmare. So, but I mean, we'll see how it goes. Hell's Havoc asks, do you expect with the release of 3.0 that the system size of Crusader will increase the distance between Crusader and its moons?
Like the difference between Crusader and Yella? Probably.
I would think that it would actually decrease so you could see the moons from the planet.
It will certainly change.
Because right now you can't see the moons.
That's
right?
true.
Like it's not like I know Earth's moon is disproportionately large for most moons. Yeah, it's ginormous and really close. But you can't see those moons. You wouldn't like if you were to go on Crusader's surface or like its cloud cities or whatever, you wouldn't be able to see any moons. So if anything, that makes me think that they need to move closer.
Yeah, but would they do that for all moons? I guess it's like a huge feature for Star Citizen that it's like I'm on this planet and I can see that
the moons.
in the sky.
Yeah.
I mean, I like
Thank
it.
you.
I mean,
It's a big ass system though.
I'd be okay if they faked those moons. I mean, I'm just saying, like,
They won't though.
They won't.
No
I know they won't, and it's great that they're not. But I mean, I'd be like,
So
gameplay, man.
I mean, the thing is, you're going to be traveling via quantum anyways, right? So what's the difference if it takes 30 seconds or 5 seconds?
25 seconds.
Boom!
Right.
Me and Twerk are on the ball.
Right, but I mean, at the end of the day, is that important? Is that extra length important to the gameplay? I don't think so.
Important. Boom! Next one.
I think that I would want to see those moons in the sky, right?
Yeah.
No, you're right. That it's a cool feature, and it's important that the real stuff is there. And it is a cornerstone or a pillar of Star Citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Like think of nighttime on some alien planet, and then you have moons that are different colors, right? That are glowing. Like our moon is just white or orange or whatever. It's sort of that spectrum. But if you had a planet or a moon that was reflecting like pink, like light pink to dark red, or like light blue to dark blue or whatever, it could add a lot to the atmosphere. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chris asks, "Hi guys, we saw the character custom loadout in the recent ATV. How do you think CIG will do this in the persistent universe, and how do you want it to be done?" He goes on to say, "I for one would like the character click the locker and just stay in the same spot when you customize it, so, like use the lockers that we have, and instantly change clothes when done. Do you think that would be too immersion breaking?"
If the 3.0 demo, it kind of flashed. I faded to black and came back up. It's immersion breaking. But how else do you do it? You know?
Well, how would you do it from a third person perspective, where another person is looking? It would just switch. Yeah.
I'm happy for them to just pop in armor, but solutions to that problem are have locker rooms with cubicles, have sections of the ship where you can
that are one person only.
Yes, or to just lessen immersion breaking, you have very, very specific areas.
Yeah, like a small area. I mean, people could still open the door if they wanted to, and they just see it flash. But for the most part, it would shut the door, and then you would change and then come out.
Yeah. I mean, the game's going to be slightly immersion breaking because I'm using a mouse and keyboard to play it.
I'm looking at a monitor.
I'm looking at a monitor, yeah.
Right.
The postman knocked at my door. I mean, there are things that are immersion breaking. It's life, deal with it. But I'm happy for it just to pop in and out when you change.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same. But yeah, there's some good ideas right there. CIG, feel free to steal our ideas.
Yeah, but I do want a small percentage of the game's sales.
Yes. I will take 0.1%.
10%.
I'll take 0.1%.
It's just a small 10%.
I'd like the higher end of the of what Twerk said, but I'll happily have 0.1%.
Mm-hmm. Arenin says, with 3.0 likely to attract a lot of new players, do you think CIG will remake the tutorial?
I mean, they cannot rely on YouTubers to make the tutorials for them. They need signposting in the game, not just for basic tutorials, but all of the professions they have in the game, whether that be through missions or how-tos.
And this is something that someone brought up to me the other day when I was playing Hellion. I didn't like Hellion because there was no signposting, and then they're like, "Well, you play Star Citizen," and I get that. So I get that if I was to join right now, I could potentially see myself getting frustrated with the game.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't know what it is that I'm doing. But because I've played since the very beginning and I've sort of had to learn everything over time, it's not been so bad. But yeah, no, I agree. I think they're going to have to make a tutorial or some sort of video that can be played in, like, it can be a video thing that they can watch in the game. Not a video on their YouTube channel. They can put it on their YouTube channel if they want. But they talked about how they just redid their video encoding and everything in game. Have it so you literally go into a room and you sit down and you watch the video in the game.
Yeah, and like Tyler makes videos.
Yeah.
Of how to play the game.
Of how to play the game.
That's kind of what I would expect. Like, that's what the Hellion community manager did. He's not even a community manager. He's a fucking lore guy turned community manager. But, like, that's kind of what I expect from the community team.
Mm-hmm.
Right? and maybe game support, like somebody like Proxys. That's like in combination, the two of them working together to make some tutorial videos would make perfect sense.
You need that. So you need that in-game tutorial like we had with Gilly and all that sort of jazz. That's essential.
It just can't
That
be
will
shit,
eventually, yeah, that needs to come in at some point.
Yeah.
But
the thing
they,
is I refuse to wait for 3. I personally refuse to wait for 3.0 for them to make a tutorial.
But for each of the major professions, though, you're going to need that, or starter missions that introduce you to them slowly.
Yeah, each starter mission of each thing should have some signposting on it.
Yeah,
it should be press this to take off, do this to take off, to do that, and yeah. And if it has to start over every time you log in to the game, whatever, you can maybe press a button to skip.
People suffer from not knowing the basics, or like when I even like into my second year in Star Citizen, there is an occasional key. I'd go,
"What's that again?" Yeah.
Well, no. This allows me to look backwards, or what? This does this. Like I didn't know some of the keys still because no one had ever told me. Like a couple of people might have just assumed you knew. Like, and I was like, it's yeah, signposting essential.
Yeah. Our next question's from El Wook, and he says, I just got a brand new T-Master FCS HOTAS. Yay! Have you guys been having trouble with key binding on the latest patch? Any new vids or info setting up the FCS? I know you did some reviews. Bored?
I did.
Some stuff.
Or Twerk, okay.
I haven't messed with it much this
keyboard,
patch, but I'll let you know. Stop by the channel, maybe.
Twerk is the joystick guy. Twerk and Noob.
A noob for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely default mouse and keyboard. And Bored, you're the same.
That's currently my preferred thing.
Yeah.
I've only mouse and keyboarded this patch, but now that I think about it, I used my HOTAS and I exported my previous one right into 2.6.1 and it worked fine.
I'm probably moving over to throttle and mouse just because I feel that for me that is the literal best combination that gives me the most like precision for everything that I want. It's more difficult than mouse and keyboard because the keyboard I've just got so used to. It's just so user friendly for everyone. Years of gaming on a keyboard, even though it's not as precise as a throttle.
I love it. I can't do without it. I was playing with mouse and keyboard the other day, and I was like, I can't. I just turned the game off and came back with the joystick.
And the aiming on a mouse, mice are more precise at aiming. It's just as simple as that for me.
Soros, we have a few more questions.
Yeah, we have 4 more questions.
4. Okay, I have to pee super bad, so ask it. I'll be right back.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I've held on.
It's all
so
good.
long. Chat. Bear with me.
Run! Do you think he's gonna bring his Barbie doll collection with him?
Well,
when he comes back?
Maybe.
The next question here is from Steady Driftin'. How do you think the flight models will change once you enter atmosphere with varying gravity from planet to planet? I don't know if gravity is going to affect the flight model so much as the actual atmosphere itself.
We didn't even think about gravity on the flight model. We think about gravity from movement and EVA and stuff, don't we? But like jumping around Vandal ships might have gravity changes. Oh.
I mean, we know they can edit it, but
yeah,
I don't know.
They change the gravity, so.
I don't know if it has any. I don't know if it has any effect, really. Right? It's either it has gravity
model,
or it doesn't.
Well, as you said, they can change it.
Yeah.
So maybe it will. Maybe that's someone. Matt Sherman here? Please tell us. Does gravity affect flight model?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's something.
Atmospheric flight does, but is gravity part of the atmospheric flight model? Twerk, YUP.
Twerk, how do you think the flight models will change once you enter atmosphere with varying gravity from planet to planet?
Do you think gravity will be a factor?
Oh.
I know,
yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah, you would think.
About it.
You would think there would be different gravities. And isn't that like already in the engine, right? Now, now, obviously in engine for like first person outside of ship stuff. I'm curious. I don't know. It's like a super good question, but you would think yes, but I don't know.
It's definitely
Somebody said I think they talked about this, but I don't remember.
Like I know that they talked about like turbulence and stuff, but that's an atmosphere thing. That's not a gravity thing.
That's an air thing. That's not a gravity thing.
So I don't know if their simulation is that in depth.
Moons, yeah, 2 identical moons. Let's give them, and one has different gravity from the other. Does
one has half the gravity of the other?
Yeah. Does that affect?
How about this?
In that sphere?
It wouldn't affect the flight model, but it might affect how much fuel you expend to stay making the similar maneuver.
Okay. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I could see that.
With that.
Because like you turn your joystick, it's going to do the same thing, but it might use more thrust to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious. That's actually like a super good question.
Yeah, because we haven't really talked about anything about gravity on ships.
Yeah, that's like one. The next time there's a flight model, like Q&A, that's a great question to ask them.
the fuel consumption is the best thing. So it takes more to leave the planet if there's a higher gravity.
Yeah.
Things like that. Next question is from Vash the Stampede. He says, hey, do you think that really large organizations will be able to build some kind of base later on in the game? Sorry for my bad English. Your English is fine. Your English is better than Board's.
Yeah, it is, mate.
I don't know about building a base. I think that, like, that's what we were talking about earlier with the modular buildings on planet stuff. Like the modular outposts. Maybe you may be able to do that. I'm sort of thinking more of you'll be able to take things over. I think it's a
long-term thing.
Like take things over, like a space station or an outpost or whatever, and hold that as a organization. But building it is, like Twerk said, maybe more of a long.
I think that's definitely the long-term thing they would like to do.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, and we all want.
Pretty much any good ideas that anyone says in a question, we could literally
and
have
then
the answer as.
I'm already picturing it now. You could use the same thing that you use for the ship and the weapon custom or the character customization. You put in the building customization, and it has all the hard points that you can connect things to, and then it puts it.
Would be a port system like the hangar and all the characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a next question from Edison Trend 7112. Are any of you hoping for more Banu or Xi'an ships? And if so, which roles would you like to see for those ships? So I guess, are you looking forward to seeing any more alien ships? And if so, which roles for those aliens?
Yes, and non-combat for sure.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see non-combat, like what those races use.
Ships in general.
Yeah, I want to see what those races use to gather resources, to transfer resources, to explore, to do whatever it is they do outside of combat.
I mean, right
with
now,
the exception of like Van
ships,
Duel.
Yeah, because we know that
they're like war crazy.
Yeah. The thing about it is right now what we have of the ships is kind of that's how we understand the aliens.
Yeah, but even with Van Duel, like it would be cool to see them, like their production. Like if you get to go in deep into Van Duel space one way or another, to see like I'm picturing something similar to like how in Lord of the Rings you see with all the orcs and stuff, like you see them all working instead of just fighting, like in their pits and caves and stuff like that. It would be cool to see a Van Duel environment like that.
Yeah.
Or very similar to that. But yeah, just seeing how those aliens would do all the same things that we would need to do, or they would need to do to build those things, to expand their
and it would tell you about the aliens a bit more, because we don't have much to go on, because like, to be honest, we're probably going to get the ships before we get the actual aliens, right? In a lot of situations, like we haven't seen the final Vandal yet, but we've seen a few Vandal ships. We haven't seen a Xi'an yet in game or in engine at all, really, right? But we've seen a Xi'an scout. So it's it kind of defines the alien right now for us. So of course, to answer that question, yeah, definitely.
I think that's one of the reasons I want to see the other alien manufacturers as well, because some things that define their race, I don't think should define their race.
Yeah,
it's very prejudiced to judge Yan on their shitty scout.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's the only ship we have, right? Like,
yeah.
I want to see what do their capital ships look like. What are their whatever.
Poor Banu don't have anything yet. Oh, poor Banu.
Well, GG. Grolon88 says, do you think there will be big civilian ships, like colony-style ships, for example, like the 600 to 1,000 meter long, with less weapons and armor of a military capital, for orgs as mobile bases? Because a Bangalore Javelin may not be the best choice for a trading organization or whatever.
Why?
So
the whole premise around, and I'm assuming it's still there, the whole premise around the Javelin is you get an empty hull. Yeah. You are not getting a ship that is fully loaded out like the other ships, so you get to choose how to build, basically build your
But
ship.
the other thing,
So
my answer
that is
to
the choice, in my opinion.
I mean, in that case, you could also use like something like an Endeavor as your
the
base.
mix and match.
Yeah, right. Like you use that as your ship, and so that kind of is a big civilian ship. Or and there may be a couple other things, but once again, the only thing that I could think of is a large exploration ship, because anything else outside of exploration or combat doesn't really need to travel very far. And if that's the case, why wouldn't you just take over a space station?
Yeah.
That's close in proximity to where you need to be.
How many people can we fit into a Hull E?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that ship.
Right?
Have you guys seen the ship size comparisons, and then the Hull E just comes and you're like, what the fuck?
Big.
Yeah. The Hull E is big.
It's so big.
Yeah. So yeah, there's your answer for that. That is it for our questions for today. Thank you so much for coming by. I'm going to be jumping into a couple rounds of Star Marine after this. I do have to get all my stuff ready for my flight tomorrow. So I won't be on too long. But let's start with Bored. What are you up to this week? Where can people find you?
Some chocolate.
He's already stuffing his face full of chocolate.
Not yet, I'm not. Now I am. No. Boredgamer UK on all the social medias, on the YouTubes, on the Twitches, on the Twitters. I am going to be streaming more. I keep on trying to stream and then just like losing all hope and getting my stream set up will just exploding around me. So I'm going to be streaming more. Not necessarily Star Citizen, a bit of Star Citizen, but other games in the evening, which I play. Star Citizen videos coming out all the time. I took a few, 3 days break earlier this week. But I'm going to be getting stuff up about character creation and mining, and I'm going to start to as soon as 2.6.2 comes out, we're going to start to look at which is coming out pretty soon. We're going to start to look at stats and meta builds and comparisons between ships and job roles and lots of stuff. So I'm going to start to I'm responding to people's wants on my videos. But I'm asking people, what would you like a video on? And I try to respond to that. So please be interactive with me, and I'll be interactive with you. Other than that, I'm not sure. I'm going to be playing some Rust.
What are you going to do without us? Me and Twerk are going to be gone?
Yeah. I mean, you're no further away.
Yeah.
Relatively, you're no further away.
Actually, we're going closer to you. We'll both be closer to you.
I'm more likely to hear more from you while you're there, because I know, join on your stream and go,
we're going to drunk dial you.
Yeah, I'll have to get you back for that drunk stream.
Yeah, it will be like, I'm in the toilet with Twerk and some other random guy. Here's Twerk Stick and some other random guys. Woo!
And banned.
Yeah.
This is it. Soros, this will make or break your channel.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to be doing the stuff I normally do. I don't do anything else other than that. Oh, chocolate. What about you, Twerk? What are you doing?
I don't know. So like the whole next little while is going to be really, and I've kind of warned people about this. It's going to be really, really sporadic. So I'm here. I haven't been able to stream much because Dupian sleeps all day. And
is he sleeping right now?
No. I just looked at his bed though. And then it's like really late in the afternoon, and then my family's here, and I want to spend time with my family. Then we're going to be at PAX.
Yeah.
So, and to be honest, I don't plan on streaming from there at all. So it's going to
You'll
be
be
really
able to see
sporadic
him.
right now.
Don't
and
worry.
then as soon as I get back on the 15th, my new work schedule starts. And the big problem is the weekends. So I will be working Grave, which means my schedule changes every weekend. So it's going to start later and then go normal. It's going to be crazy. So basically, bear with me, everybody. I don't know what my days off are going to be. I don't know any. I'm awaiting a text on Monday from my boss. So Monday, I find out like where my life goes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely for the better. I'll be making a lot more money outside of Twitch, which will be good, but it's definitely going to affect Twitch somewhat negatively. So yeah, just bear with me now for the next couple weeks, and we'll get things sorted out, and we'll be back on a normal schedule soon.
And where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/Twerk17 and @Twerk17. Follow the Twitter now, because that's when I tell you when I'm going live and all that, because things are all over the place.
And once again, for PAX, you're going to be there from Friday. You
Friday
land at about
to
11.
Monday morning I leave. Like Monday at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be grabbing Twerk on Friday. We'll stop by the hotel really quick to drop his shit off, and then we'll head right to the convention from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for myself, I'm just going to be packing, getting ready. I'm gone until next podcast. So I leave tomorrow. My flight's at noon. And I land in Boston at midnight. So I'll be settling down and doing all that stuff. In the morning, I'm going to go out and get data. And then I'll be streaming as much as I possibly can IRL. So if you want to see Twerk and you want to say hi to him, you will see him. He will be on my channel. So I'll be doing the IRL part robot deal. So I'll start that stream as I go pick up Twerk from the airport. We'll do all that stuff. We'll be doing that. So I don't really have a schedule for that. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to stream.
Hours. 24 hours, dude. Come on.
I can't do 24 hours.
You could just have it pointing at you while you sleep.
While we sleep, while me and Twerk cuddle.
I'm not even joking. I will join into that. Sorry, wake up.
Wake up.
I'm not so sure I want to be on camera that much either.
Okay, well, you want to be
now I gotta do it.
I'm just gonna be like, okay.
Now I gotta do it.
I'm going away now.
Yeah, Twerk's just gonna like hide behind me. I need one of those 360-degree cameras and stream to YouTube as well, and have that on a stick on my back so then people can control it. But yeah, so we're gonna be streaming as much as I can. I'll be back for Wednesday, which is our podcast, and hopefully by then 262 has gone to the PTU. That's my plan. Is 262 drops on Wednesday, and the timing is perfect. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to be playing some Star Marine after this, play a couple rounds, and then I got to get ready. But thank you, everybody, for coming by. Very much appreciated. This ends our 100th episode.
100!
Which is crazy. So yeah, we will see you guys. I'll see you in like 30 seconds.